in the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Big Rays, the Alaskan outfitter, committed to outfitting Alaskans across the state since 1947. Whether you're a recreator, parent, guide, or corporate buyer, Big Rays has the gear you need, tailored for Alaska's harsh conditions. Check out their new exclusive line of Arolik Waders. Big Rays for all your outdoor gear and rugged work attire. BigRays.com.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives. AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce cards, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include weekly lawn care, custom landscaping, fertilizing, weed control, turf repair, and more. Schedule your free estimate at lawnproak.com.
Alaska's OG cider company, Double Shovel, crafting gluten-free colonial-style ciders, founded as a healthier, non-inflammatory brew option. Drop by their Pop and Tap room in Anchorage off of 58th and Arctic, or visit the second location in Kodiak. Double Shovel, award-winning ciders.
The Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. BHA is the voice of our Alaskan public lands, waters, and wildlife. Their goal is to uphold our hunting and fishing legacy while keeping our public lands wild. Stand up today and join BHA at backcountryhunters.org. Right? Because we get, hey, we want you to say this, or you make it up for us, or we want you to say this, and we're like, yeah, maybe we should tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
And at the end, we want you to like what we're saying.
You guys did a good job. Not everyone is that way. They'll put something together and we go, oh God, no, that's awful.
Yeah.
But you pass the test.
And you got to have your own voice to it.
100%.
You know, because I would never say that word.
It's not us at all.
It's like, is that even in Brandon's vocabulary?
Way too many syllables. Way too many.
Yeah.
He's trying way too hard.
Yeah, it's really nice when sponsors are just like, these are a couple of things we want you to put in there, and then just like add in your own little flair.
And we free flow it.
Yeah, it comes out best. It comes out best. In the beginning, we were talking about how we used to edit and do all this stuff. I used to add in the slides every time before we had the connection to the TV.
I was thinking about that, dude.
And then we used to do the ad reads live. Like we would read it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Some people are better readers than others. And it was just like, we're just like torturing this person's business or whatever. It was so bad. We're like, okay, we're going to have to redo that.
So all pre-recorded.
Yes. But it's hilarious when we do a little behind the scenes here for everyone listening. When we pre-record the ads, like we set aside like an entire day because it's like take after take after take for like a 15-second thing. They're like, oh, you messed this word up, or I forgot this, or you said this, or you coughed, or something.
Yeah, half burp comes out. Like, really, right now? Like,
all the time.
Yeah, it's funny.
I know you're pretty good. You kind of nail him. You got that like old rapper.
Yeah,
he's an old school rapper. Just
What?
for anybody that was wondering. Yeah.
Oh.
yeah. That's how I know a lot of the audio stuff. We were in a pretty big hip hop group growing up called Arctic Flow. We did a lot of. We put out several albums. I put out an album in 2010.
Google it for fun after this.
I will.
Please do.
I think like 8 albums. We
will.
did lots of tours everywhere.
Wow.
We toured Alaska tons of times.
Yeah.
Huge fan following locally too.
Right on.
Pretty big. This is
Selling CDs out of the trunk of the car.
yeah,
No
it's
joke.
CDs. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, we sold lots and lots of CDs. We pretty much opened up for every big act that came up from like, Snoop Dogg to Outkast.
Nas.
That's gotta be cool.
Moose's 2 stuff, Bear 2
Really?
stuff, Egan Center, Denina Center. All kinds of
So,
stuff.
did you guys break up? What happened?
I think we started having kids
Life.
and getting
Yeah,
married.
life happened. Yeah.
And to be in that lifestyle, I mean,
Sure.
you have to be like out every weekend if you're not out. And this is pre-internet. So we would have a show at least once a month. And so the other 3 weeks leading up to the show would be us out physically passing out flyers,
Yeah.
putting up posters, handing out CDs, telling people, setting up the next show. So it's like you're out all the time. We're going to UAA, we're like hitting up the dorms and just like, getting out there, which was fun when you're, 21 to 27. But once you turn 30 and you
those
have a
days.
kid,
Yep.
it's like, well, I can't be at soccer in the morning and be at the club till 3 in the morning.
Doesn't
you know.
work. Doesn't work. Well, I had no idea. That's so interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Look it up
Yeah,
for a
I
good
will.
it's a little entertainment
I
there.
will.
And a little fun fact too for a lot of people, all the music that we use, like on the intro that you heard and on the
Background
ads
music,
and the background are all our songs.
Oh, that's cool. Right on.
So that we own it. No one can be like, oh, they're you owe me for playing our song
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's an authentic homemade beat.
Homemade.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we're talking about the ads, so he nails it most of the time. He's just like, all slick. Yeah, Big Rays, go check them out. They got, he just starts going off. And so there's one night we got together and we were just running on fumes this week. I remember he had this and I had that, and we're trying to fit in the Alaska Oil Project, behind the scenes stuff. We need to record these ad reads. We get together like 9:00 at night, got the family, got the kids down for bed, raced over here, and we're sitting there trying to record, and my voice is just like, bleh, bleh, bleh. I cannot get anything out. And I spent probably 6 hours of my 9-hour day at work on the phone. On the phone, on the office, on the phone talking. And I'm like, I can't even do this right now. My voice is gone. So from now on, it's like fresh. All right. You get me fresh.
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
First thing in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, man, enthusiasm is just at its peak.
Yes.
You know what
Nothing
I mean?
after
Like,
noon. That's it.
Oh yeah. No. So anyway, it's actually pretty fun.
It is. And the writing of the ads is fun too.
Yeah.
We try not to use a lot of the same, because everyone is like, Alaska made or this in Alaska or something
Locally
Alaska.com.
Hit them up
And
at
I'm like,
soandso.com.
yeah. So it's like we try to like switch it up
Try
and
to
use different
yeah.
words.
That's more challenging than you'd think, because you want to rattle off everybody's website,
Right.
Instagram handle, or whatever. Everything's 907. That's just that and the other, and it's like it's a lot of 907s and .coms. It's hard to mix those in and not sound redundant.
Sure.
All the stuff you don't even know until you start doing it.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking as I was researching the agenda today, I don't want to jump all the way into the Big Rays quite yet, but I was really curious on where that name came from. Because a lot of the other companies, they're always somewhat Alaska something, whether it's Expedition or Mountain or whatever. I'm like, was there a actual guy, Big Ray?
You want me to take this?
Take it.
Okay. How long do we have? No.
Lots of time.
It's unlimited time, really.
Yeah.
We've had up to 4-hour podcast, so bring it.
No. So
76 years of history, so it might
it's
take
a lot.
All right.
Okay, no, we're going to get into all that. Just
No.
is there a Big
There
Ray?
is a Big Ray. There
Okay.
was a Big Ray.
Okay.
But Big Ray, okay, I got to tell a little bit of the story. So Big Ray's was founded in 1947. A couple years in Anchorage. A couple years after that, the owners wanted to open a store in Fairbanks, and they needed someone to run the store. And there was this guy who worked at the Anchorage store whose name was Milan Reykjavik, and he was a 6'7" Yugoslavian guy. He played basketball at the School of Mines in Fairbanks, so he knew Fairbanks. And he was like, "I'll go up, love to run it." And they were like,
awesome,
"Great."
Accent.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Just
And-
Nordic as it gets.
Yes, yes. And they were like, "We'll name the store Big Ray after you. That's great."
Oh,
and
wow.
so he had the store. He wasn't an owner. He just ran it. And one day, I don't know, I think he was an owner or he ran it for a few years. But that was when oil was being discovered down on the Kenai Peninsula. And he had some stake in some land. And one day he just up and left. And no one ever heard from him again. But he has all these stores named after him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still?
Still?
No one ever heard from him?
My dad saw his obituary in like the Seattle Times in the 80s. But that was it. So
I wonder if he went and struck his oil and got his money and was like, I'm out of here.
Just
I think
ghosted.
so, yeah.
That was
He just
kinda
left
impression,
and went
yeah.
down to Washington.
Big
but
Ray dropped the mic and was like,
big time. He was like, I'm
Peace,
out
homie.
of here.
and by the way, name the store after me.
I know. Yep, never see you again.
Just flicked a cigarette as he's driving out of town.
Yep, yep. So that is the story of Big Ray.
Wow.
Yes,
That's excellent.
yes.
I knew there had
well-
to be
well
something
said,
cool
too.
there.
There was a story, yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
To everyone listening, we appreciate you guys going on our Apple podcast, leaving us an Apple review. That really helps a lot. Subscribing to the YouTube channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I think we have 600 and something. So if you ever go on our page and go on YouTube, take a second and go to Alaska Wild Projects and subscribe. We'd really, really appreciate that. Extra big thank you to all the Patreon members. For people maybe that don't know what Patreon, that's a way for the average person, if you're not a business, you're just a family member or you're a friend and you want to support your friend in whatever endeavor there is, it's a way for you to do like a monthly subscription, whether it's $5, $50, whatever you can do or afford. And that's a monthly thing. So thank you to all the Patreon members that support that. We do put some extra shows and stuff like that, and we do have plans to put extra stuff that's only for Patreon members. So hopefully this winter we can add some more stuff. Summer was wild.
Stack of stories ready to go.
Yeah.
Those
for
gonna
the
have to be a
Patreon
little more. Can be a little controversial. So we're gonna
Yeah.
those are, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Stay
some stories
tuned.
in
Stay
there
tuned.
that we don't want to just put into the.
Well,
The
there
realm.
won't be sponsors
Yeah,
in that
You're
version.
not beholden to any
It's
sponsor.
just AWP tossing some shit in there, so
There you
it'll
go.
be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you to Wes. As I like to call this, it's like smoked salmon.
Canfield?
Canfield. Yeah, smoked salmon season, jarring season, October, November, kind of the hunting season's over and you're not really snow machining or ice fishing yet, but you're antsy. And so that's the time that seems like people do all their jarring and their smoked salmon.
right.
So thank you to Wes Canfield. He brought some of that for all of us to try. He just did that up. So thank you to him. We'll bust that out later when we're not talking.
And it is
Like,
it is pretty.
It's really
It
good.
looks amazing.
I mean, I've had if you lived here your whole life, somebody in the family or somebody knows somebody that does the best
Right.
smoked fish.
Right.
I think every family has the best smoked. Someone in there does it, but
This is good.
his is pretty up there, man.
This is good.
And I've had some.
He has a lot of cooking talent.
Some
We-
legendary
yeah,
smoked fish.
I don't know if you guys know that, but you'll definitely have to come this year. We host for all our guests and all our
you guys
close
have to come.
friends. We do an Alaska Wild Project wild game meat party
Oh, that's awesome.
every
Yeah,
year,
it's
and
fun.
it has gotten a little out of control. There's hundreds and hundreds of people that come, and whatever you got that year, whether it's trout from Campbell Creek to some sheep,
And
in
we've
the
had
brooks.
that.
Smoked trout.
Yeah,
trout.
and they come
Jesse
and you
was
bring
actually pretty good.
you bring your best dish, and it's just like a huge potluck that we have. We have DJs, we have donated kegs and stuff like
Tons
that.
of gift giveaways.
Big party, all the
Yeah.
sponsors and
Sounds like
people
fun.
are donating
it's a
stuff.
blast, man.
It's a blast.
When do you guys do it?
In April.
Yeah,
It's a huge, just like melting pot of network.
sure.
And just like-minded people that just love the hell out of this place and do what they do here. And it is it seems to be a good time because it's after everybody's done their winter vacations. And they're getting really primed up for summer.
Yep. Not
Another
quite
like
here yet.
mid-season kind of deal.
Yeah,
like
we
skiing's
got some
kind of
daylight, so we can have some stuff going outside around our venue until like 8, 9 o'clock, and then we have some fire pits going, and it just ends up being then the dance party getting there toward the end.
Man,
it's real
dance party.
Beware the shoes you wear.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Or bring an extra pair of shoes, whatever you got to do, because once DJ Chris cracks it off,
it's on.
Exactly.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean,
We've really set it
there
up.
was, let's say there's some mom butts out there getting after it. Right?
Yeah.
Their hair came down.
Yeah.
Right?
No kids, just kids, just
Yep.
adults.
Yep.
Great place to network and talk to other people from all over the place, especially a lot of the cool guests that we've had on. It started as a thing I used to do at my house to get the boys together, and there would be 12 of us, and then there was like 18 of us, and then there was like 24 of us, and I would send like my wife and kids to like Girdwood to cabin, like the boys are coming over, you know. And it just got out of control. There's like throw up in the yard,
clogging
and, like,
the
toilet, and my wife's like, you can't do this here anymore. I'm like,
Find another spot.
There's meat sweats, and it was just like, it's kind of.
So it's just snowballed now, where we kind of made it one of our major events that we do. And I wish that we could open it up to everyone, but that would be a little bit insane. Because we get a lot of people that like will see the pictures and stuff like that, and like, I want to go, and it's really like a thank you to our really close friends, our sponsors, and our guests,
supporters.
Yeah.
And as the years go by, I mean, this is show 136.
Wow.
So that's like
137.
137. That's like 130 different people that are bringing
Close
hopefully
to
a friend or there's
it's a lot.
whoever.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's pretty
So
cool.
we'll let you guys know about when that comes
Absolutely.
along.
Neat.
I think the venue can hold maybe another 50, 100.
50,
100?
yeah. It's
I could easily grow to that this year.
it's a good
I mean, it
time.
would be fun to do a public thing. It with like game meat and stuff. It gets to where you can't just like serve it. I don't know what other parameters there were.
And then when you
right.
give away food, it just gets a little complicated. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the food is insanely amazing.
Bet.
What
Best
people
of
bring.
everybody's best, I bet.
Oh my God, the things that people make is just, and this is like ranging from dessert, whatever, from their blueberry, mom's strudel,
Crumble or whatever
to
it's
like the
seafood
most
stuff. There's
elaborate
clam dips and chowders and I mean, there's more than just game. It's
sure.
seafood too, which is cool.
And we provide a to-go box because everyone needs to take home stuff.
Pretty please take
Because the
stuff
first
home.
like 3 times I'm stuck at the house with like all this food, which is all right.
Well, and you can't eat it all, so you could put a to-go
It's a great
platter together, go put it in your car, come back in and eat, enjoy yourself. I'm like, I didn't get to try these sliders. I didn't get to try this salmon thing or whatever.
You have it down. That's a good
Yeah,
routine.
and then
I like
I got to give shout out to my wife Rena. She came up with that.
I like that.
to-go box move, and that was a game changer.
Oh, I bet.
Because then you're not coming home with too much crap.
Yeah.
Maybe just one cooler full, but
Yeah.
we're still fine. We're still tuning it in.
Wow.
But you guys gotta come, Jesse. If you can get up from Kodiak around that time.
Yeah,
that'd be great, man.
Cool.
bring the wife and
Yeah.
come ready and get yourself a hotel close to the area.
Yes, definitely that.
Within walking distance.
Yeah.
Walking,
Take a
Uber. Uber might come in
Waddling.
there and get like locked in because some jackass rolled in and.
Oh,
thinks he owns the joint.
I've already got it figured out. We're gonna hire Tangy to drive with his big old van to drive people home.
Genius.
Yeah,
Oh, a shuttle.
yeah, because he's got like a big passenger van.
I had just parked next to it when I ran to the cidery tonight to grab some ciders.
Yeah.
And I forgot he had that thing. And I can't help but be like impressed and creeped out at the same time by this
Did it have
van.
windows in it or no?
Clear.
Oh,
Clear
wow.
windows.
That is creepy.
So, it's like, okay, well, at least it's like that's wide open. You can see what's going
Right.
on in there, but it's kind of a one-of-a-kind deal, man.
Yeah.
Does he have a name for that?
He does. I don't know if we can say it.
Okay for the
We're gonna
radio.
talk about that in the hockey locker room.
Okay. All right. That's a Patreon conversation.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect content.
Speaking of freezers, congratulations, Brandon, on the
Yeah.
moose. Our full
hell
intention
yeah.
to the listeners, we had an entire moose hunt podcast last week with my hunt this year that I did, and then Chad's hunt, and we were going to do Jack and Brandon, and we should have known better that you're not going to fit 4 entire stories into one podcast. So last podcast was super long. It was 4 hours. Hope everybody enjoyed it.
It's a lot to digest.
It was a lot, but we never got to Brandon, so I really want to quickly let Brandon tell us about your experience and how it all went down.
Well, and I got a chance to kind of give you guys maybe the meat and potatoes part of the hunt prior to our recording tonight. But yeah, thanks for bringing it up, because it was really kind of cool, because I felt like my hunting season was falling apart, and I've come from a decade or more of a very strategically planned hunting season to the T. Didn't mean the hunt went to the T, but like the planning and dates were always dialed in to a full willy-nilly. I might do this, I might do that, not doing this, not doing that. And then I was going to roll with the punches. And that's cool and has its own value to it, but I like to know what I'm doing. So I was very much out of my comfort zone in terms of my having that set plan mindset. And so I say that because this trip ended up just being the culmination of shit coming together when everything felt like it was falling apart. So decided to back out this year of my annual moose hunt up in the interior. After years of doing it with the crew, we just did an epic pod on it, year before last, a decade deep. Great story. Felt like it was the ultimate pinnacle of our hunting group. As it's culminated and come together in the 10-year mark of like how we've achieved what we did, from just discovering the place, having whatever equipment we had, to going, hey man, like I'm willing to invest in something, and the equipment got better and the gear got better, and then it became an easier hunt, easier executed hunt. The hunt was always tough, but having good equipment, as you guys know, gear, equipment goes a long freaking way in having a fun and good experience. And then it just kind of like, we had 2 really good last years, and then it just felt like we needed a breather. And, life changes and folks change and things just adjust. And it's like, let's just take a breather. And then we were still kind of tinkering with the idea, like kind of hard to give it up. And then my boat had a mechanical issue that I couldn't get fixed in time. Cool. Shut her down. Done. We're not doing it. Okay. Moving on. Goat hunt planned. Going goat hunting. Chad invites me to go moose hunting. Daniel invites me to go moose hunting. My buddy Eric gets invited to go do a cool solar jet boat hunt. We're like, cool, man. Great year to just change it up and do something different. And I'm like, I want to go goat hunting. I want to go to Prince William Sound goat hunt. But small window, weather's been shitty. So I was like, I'm just going to take a week off and be ready. Buddy and I had kind of a window we were going to go, and I was ready to like stretch that and miss work. And he's like, nope, I'm not missing work. So weather got in the way. We him-hawed around for like 5 days waiting for a weather opportunity to get out. It never really presented itself until it was going to give us a day. And it was a lot to try and execute what I thought how the goat hunt was going to go within just a 24-hour span, even though I think it can be done. But I really wanted some like recon, hunt, and then a day after the hunt kind of thing in my mind. And that wasn't going to happen. So it gets canceled. So rewind. Daniels goes on his moose hunt. Chad's on his moose hunt. These are hunts I could have went on.
We're just getting in-reaches from Brandon. Like, how's it going? What do you guys do?
Yeah.
Do you see anything?
Oh, my God, every day. They're probably like, dude, this guy. I'm dying inside. I'm like, everybody's hunting but me. And it was driving me crazy because I love moose hunting. And so anyway, he gets back, and then Chad's still out. And, he ends up getting 2 moose down. And it's a nightmare. At least at the time was going on. They had like an epic breakdown with the razor. And so I'm like, hey, I'm going, go back to goat hunt falls through. Homie wants to go back to work. I'm like, well, I got all my gear packed right now. I just bought groceries on Sunday. I'm going out tomorrow. And
you're already off work.
I'm already off work. I got it. So I had this back pocket spot that I discovered years ago that I always wanted to go back to. And it was going to be for this exact reason. Everything fell apart, and I just got this plan C. And so we had thought about some other hunts that we were going to do. And then when we decided to try to do the goat, and then ran out of 4 days of what could have been an 8-day trip. So now we were just down to like that week. I was like, well, shit, I'm going to just go and go for this back pocket plan C trip. So I was stoked. I was excited. I'm like, I haven't done a solo hunt in a while, and I knew where I was going. If I got something down, I could call in reinforcements. And everybody's like, hit me up when you're ready, man, if you need help. Daniel was just going to like leave work and grab his wheeler and come, everybody was down to come help. So I felt like it wasn't a true solo hunt. I was going to get some help if I got something done. So anyway, get out, actually find the camp I was hoping to get, set up, shit weather that day, got stuck a couple times, got in there, and then the next morning was just beautiful. I'm like, oh, man, nice. So go down, I worked this area, and I was telling you guys earlier, these guys pulled a bull out right from under me that day, and I thought for sure I was by myself. In the past, I would have been deflated to have something like that happen so close to an area that I was hunting, but I knew I was in a high-pressure zone, and so don't be surprised if you hear a gunshot. Don't get heartbroken if you hear a gunshot. Danny said that last week. Hawaiian hunter. Mm-hmm. He's like, don't go hunting where there's a lot of pressure and then be like, oh no, another one got shot. Like, you're going in an area where there's a lot of people hunting. And so I had that attitude, and it happened, and these guys end up crossing paths with these guys. And honestly, I've never been so happy for someone else to get a hunt after hearing their quick backstory. And threw them a beer, high-fived them, told them, hey man, if you guys need tools, anything, you know where I'm at. I'm camped. I got food, water. If like shit goes downhill, I'm right here. And I'm by myself, so I'm like, you guys know. And so I felt like throwing that out into the universe was a good vibe and good karma, and sent those boys off. And I'll speed up. I'm in there for 3 days. I kind of get a good lay of the land. So my buddy I was going to go goat hunting with was going to go do a Plan B trip with my cousin and go do do an Argo run. And so my cousin calls, and I got to go back to work. And this whole time I'm hitting my boy Eric. I'm like, man, dude, tons of beds, lots of game trails. I feel like there's some shit in here, man. And he's like, I'm coming out Thursday. I'm like, fucking A, awesome. I'm ready 4 days in for some camaraderie. Yeah. And so he comes in, and I'm like, bring some more beer.
The real reason.
Speaking of beer.
Real reason.
Anyway, yeah, so he comes in, and I'm like, right on, now I got a homie. And so my little brother, and mind you, my little brother was part of the original crew at our annual moose camp, all right? So he decided that, he wasn't super hardcore into the hunt planning and stuff, and we were going above and beyond after permits come out, setting dates, we're going hunting. He was like, man, I might make it, I might not. And he kind of faded out for about 4 or 5 years, even though we would love to have him come. He just would do other things during the hunting season, and that was totally cool. So he texts me, and I got cell phone reception where I'm at. He's like, hey, did you end up going hunting? And I took a picture of the camp, and I was like, remember this? And he's like, no. He went back, and I'm like, waiting on you. Friday night, he comes in. So now I got my best bud and my brother, who totally impromptu decided to come in. And I'm like, well, shit, now we're moose hunting. Now I got my boys. Well, I had to get back to town for the weekend. So I came out Monday. Eric comes out Thursday. Dan comes out Friday. I'm like, all right, I'll home with you guys Saturday morning, and I got to go back to town. Is my youngest daughter's 5th birthday on Sunday, and was my daughter's first hockey game on Saturday.
Oh
my.
I'm like, all right, man. So they brought more food, more beer. Now we got like full-blown yard sale going on in Moose Camp. I'm like, cool, man. This isn't this clean OCD Moose Camp anymore. Like, it's a hot mess. Perfect. I'll be back, boys. So I roll out Saturday, come back to town, just in time to catch my daughter's hockey game. Totally kicked ass. Great to see her. Took my family out for dinner. Sunday morning, ran to the park across the street, threw up the Mario Brothers themed, Princess Peach's birthday party for my 5-year-old. Remember the cupcakes and all that? Yeah, the little cannons came out of the cake. Yeah. Anyway, epic little birthday party for my daughter. I'm the grill master, burgers, dogs. I got the solo stove going. It was a beautiful day.
Yeah, that's good day.
Coincidentally, seen a bull get killed, spooked a small bull. Now back at camp, spook a small bull, see the one bull killed. Fast forward back to Sunday. I'm in there at the park cooking burgers, watching a spike fork, a 40-inch bull, a cow and a calf walking around the whole park.
Just taunting you.
Yeah. I'm like,
that's awesome.
I mean, I got a moose camp out there right now. You guys are across the street from my house. How does this make sense right now? So anyway, that was kind of fun. Great birthday. 5-year-old got a shacket, got a Barbie house, got all kinds of
Shack it season.
Shack it season
Yeah.
for the 5-year-old.
Oh man,
Oh,
she rocked that thing to school on Monday.
Oh, she
I
did?
bet.
As soon as I saw that thing when we went looking for the present, I was like,
and you guys
Shack
are
it
the only
season.
one that got her clothes.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh, Alexia doesn't get to shop for girls. So I figured, oh, this is her opportunity.
I was the one that chose it. It was funny.
Oh, okay. And I wondered that because I'm like, a shack it?
I was like,
I feel like Daniel had his hand in this.
And I was like, and the matching hat? Yeah.
So cute too, man. She loved it. She like grabbed it out of the box, put it on that morning to go to school. Like, all right, I guess you're wearing that to school.
So cute.
So run home, unpile the truck and my wife's rig. I got my wheeler on, covered in mud, on the trailer in front of the house. Hook back up, back out there, ride back in. Trail is jacked up at this point from all the traffic that have gone through, and I'm going back in there by myself. Trail got so jacked up that I started missing spots. So I got myself stuck. Was losing daylight. Finally I got back to camp right before dark. I was like, thank God. Sunday night. So Monday is the closer. I'm like, all right, I'm going to hunt Monday morning through Monday night and go home Tuesday. Well, when I got back to camp Sunday, my brother and Eric were like, yeah, I think after your report on the trail, maybe it'd be better if we just go home Monday. Instead of my brother going home Monday, then me and Eric go home on Tuesday. And I'm like, you know what? That's probably smart. 3 wheelers, 3 winches.
Yep.
We can all split the gear all up and get out of here safely if we have a breakdown or something, which I'll get to that in a second. I'm like, all right, this is where I'm by myself on mode hunting, and then I have like other logical thinking hunting partners thinking something more logical and a smarter move. And I'm like, this is why you need to go hunt with good people, because they help you make good decisions. When you are heart set, dead set on something, they're a voice of reason that's, oh yeah, you're right, that's a good idea. So Sunday night, we make that decision. It was like, all right, they had just cut down this big, huge spruce beetle kill tree. I come in and they got a cord stacked. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, we're on a fire tonight. So we have this huge fire, pretty much pound all of our beer, Northern Lights, stars, kind of like, man, it was a good run. It's great to be back together, kind of reminiscing, the whole thing. Just a great bro moment and camping trip kind of thing. With that, we're going to hunt the next morning. So I get up, 7:30, get my ass up, just because I had to go pee so bad. You know how that goes, right? You don't want to get out. It's like 28 degrees or something. Pop out, and I look up, and there's fresh snow caps on the top that's right. It rained the night before for a minute, and then it snow capped. So, right. Okay, so I get up, now it cleared off, so I'm looking at the snow caps, and I'm like, man, it smells like such a moosey morning. It just feels like
Could you bottle that? This is the moosey morning. It smells.
It's a moosey morning.
Yeah, it smells moosey out. Anyway, they're snoring. I fire up coffee. I'm kind of clanking around. Like, somebody got to get up. And then, and coincidentally, I got up like 2 minutes after I left. So I put my wet boots on, grabbed my bow, my rifle, my boat paddle. Because this area, I was trying to get one with a bow and arrow because it's a real tight quartered area. I haven't taken one. I've been training and working really hard, and I feel good about like that 50, 60 yard mark. And this area was like perfect for that. So I brought both out every day. So I grab all my crap. I'm going to go down to this meadow. I've been down there for the 4th time now. I'm going to work it, and there's scrapes and rubs and beds, and there's so much stuff going on down there. The other guys had shot a bull not far from that area, and I thought, man, I'm just going to go down here and just call and call and call, almost like too much, because what do I have to lose at this point? Last day, so I text the guys, hey, I'm down here, and I go down there. I go down to a lake, call, hour, go back over to this other area. So now this is a sweet spot I wanted to be originally. It's howling. The wind's howling. And if you've ever been in a thick forested area, especially now with the fall, with the leaves falling, so obnoxious. Yeah, it's blowing, the wind, and then, but I got some really killer video. I should actually send it to you of it just snowing, the yellow leaves with the sun beaming through. And it's just this beautiful setting. And I'm like taking videos of the leaves. I'm kind of just in la la land, like moose hunting. And then every 5 minutes, I'm just like, just anything, like, please just hear me, and I text the guys. I'm like, hey man, what are you guys doing? Like, we just started a fire and got coffee going, and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds really, really nice. My feet are cold. I'm like, I got, I want to get back up there. I'm thinking, all right, it's good. Let's just tear it down. Good run, whatever. All right, I'm going to give it. It was like 17 minutes or something till 11, I think it was. I'm going to give it till 11. I'm just going to stand in this log and doing my thing and keep thinking I hear this like crack, off in the distance. But the wind and the trees, and I hear a tree. Have you ever been in the wind in the forest and you hear like two trees like rubbing? So it's like that thing's just like pinging on my ear. So I'm like, is that what I'm hearing? And then I hear I hear a grunt. And you know what a moose grunt is when you hear it, a real one. And I'm like, what the hell? And I look over and I just see points like 50, 60 yards away in the brush, but I can see him and I can see a silhouette of his face and his chest. Holy shit. So I drop down off the log. I'm like, it's a bull. So I'm like, all right. So I knock an arrow, set my bow down, load around in my 30-06, set that down, safety, pull the scope cover off. I'm like, all right. I got my weapons at my disposal. Like, well, how's this going to go? I jump back up, grab my binos and look. Now I can actually see his features of his antlers. Boom, 3 brow tines on the left side. Bam. Instantly knew it was a 3 brow tine 50 area. All right, check. It's all going. And I'm like, holy shit, I might actually get a bow and arrow opportunity on this. So I let out a little call just for him to relocate, which he does. He relocates me. And he looks in there. And he kind of looks to the left. He looks to the right. He kind of looks behind him. Looks back over at me. Looks down. And he's like, I don't know. You could just tell he was not convinced to, like, just come in. So I was like, I'm going to let this one little out. And he's going to start swaying and grunting and actually walking in. I'm going to get this epic bow and arrow shot. He gave me all the indicators that he was about to turn around and bounce. So in, I don't know, probably 17 seconds or less time, I'm rolling all this information. Like, I think he's going to roll out. What if I miss? What if I wound him? What if this thing completely blows out and now I have to walk back up to camp to tell the boys after all this work that I had an opportunity and I squandered it because I was trying to get too cute and get him with a bow and arrow. So maybe that was all part of 14 seconds of the thought. The last 3 seconds were like, all right, put the freaking bow down. I was like, no. I know. It's like, if we had a bull down and something hanging in camp already,
pressure's
and
off.
this was like, and this was just me, having this opportunity, or was it which I had planned, which I always took a guy with me, backing back up into the week in the hunting with the crew. One guy would stay at camp or hunt that area, and then I would take a guy with me, and the plan was, hey, I'm fully committed to the bow and arrow with a partner, so you have your rifle ready. You basically had him with shooting sticks, walking with me. If we get a shooting opportunity, I want it to be this. I'm going to go full bow and arrow, and up to the point where we feel like there's a potential lost opportunity on a shooter, you just shoot him. Don't let me drop the bow and give me the rifle and shoot. You just take them, and that way we know for sure what the plan is. There's no like, what are we doing? What are you doing? It's a plan. We know what's going to happen. But that morning, obviously, I didn't have anybody with me. So had I had that, like, hey, put your crosshairs on him, and I'm going to try and get him in bow range, and if he doesn't come in, shoot him. It would have been a totally different story. But processing all that, I just really, looking at the big picture, I never wanted a moose so bad, I don't think, in all the years. And we've had some great, really successful harvests and multiple bull hunts in the past in our other area, and it just maybe almost became an expectation that we might get one because of our previous success, whereas in here was a full wild card and I didn't know, and this opportunity presented itself. It just felt like I could not pass it up, and I wanted this so freaking bad. So I put the bow down and I decided to just take a shot. Well, he ended up giving me a broadside shot in some brush, which I was confident that 180 grain would plow through there. Actually, that bullet right there, I think I got it.
You brought it in.
Yeah, I found one of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Actually, that
Still got a little jerky on it.
Yeah, it does. Jerky. That's a good one. Actually, that's a second one. I actually found 3 in there. One broke, which the bullet didn't do its job. The other one really expanded nice, and then that one, I think I lost the other ones. They fell out of my pocket out in the field or something. I don't know what happened. So on that note, I shot, and if you've ever shot wild game from a distance, deer, elk, buffalo, moose, a bear, you hear a whap. you know, or you're shooting something and someone else has glass on it. Oh, good hit. Oh, you hit them high or low, or oh, you missed. You know, you usually got somebody giving you feedback, or you hear that whap of that flesh getting smacked. But it was so close with the wind, and the window I shot, and he ran, and I was like, oh shit, did I get him? I felt like I got him. I mean, the scope, I got the zoom right. So he runs and turns, and now he's about 70 yards away. Kind of a broadside quartered shot through the brush. Boom, shoot again. He runs forward, and then he's just got like all brown in this little window of grass. And I didn't know if it was a shoulder, an ass, or what the hell it was. So I just threw another round in there because I'm like, did I even hit him at all, ever?
Right.
And that part I wasn't prepared for. It was so unsettling because now I'm like, oh, I'm going to go for the guarantee with the rifle. And then I shot. I'm like, oh, shit, did I miss?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, the bow and arrow, now I missed. Like, oh, this could turn into a full disaster. And so I normally would give an animal, you kill it, it drops, give it 20, 30 minutes, and you walk up to it. But I was almost like in a chaotic panic, controlled panic, but still a panic of like, I want to find this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And so I waited, man, I sat there just tapping my foot like, okay, 5 minutes, that's enough. Yeah. And I ran out there and ended up rummaging around and finding him. And he still had like a couple of the last breaths left. And after, you know, harvesting him and getting him out, it ended up all 3 rounds hit him. And luckily, very little meat loss, which was great. Because usually, you know, you blast a neck and it blows some stuff out, or hit a hind quarter and you lose like a whole chunk that gets all gelatined out. You know, if you've ever carved out a moose or an animal that took a bad hit, you know. Yeah. Luckily with a moose, so much meat, you don't lose a lot. But anyway, man, I get him down and I'm like, holy shit, this just happened. And I had cell phone reception, so I called my boys and they were like, no way.
They didn't hear the shots?
No, my brother did. So Eric was just rummaging around in his tent, kind of packing up. And then my brother went to his morning glory area and was right kind of close to that lake. And I call, I'm like, dude, I just got a moose. Like, no fucking way. My brother comes running up. He's trying to call me. So I'm like, whoa, I got my brother calling in. He runs the camp. I hear him come talk to Eric. Dude, there's a bull grunting by the lake. I'm like, holy shit, I just shot one. And so what I think is that morning call session I did by the lake might have brought something in down there.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Right. And I had heard a bull gluck like way earlier in the week, which I don't know.
Water, so
yeah. So sense. I'm like, holy crap. Well, I'll hang out down by the moose if there's another moose, because I got to walk right down the trail to get to camp. I don't want to blow that up. So, and that ends up not happening. But I'll just wrap it up that I got back to camp. I mean, the most genuine high five, hugs. Sure. So grateful to have shared the moment with my brother, who I haven't hunted with in years. I love him. You know, he's one of my best friends. Eric's like a brother and a best friend, and like to have those guys there. And then they came down with me and we were cleaning the moose, and we were having the most fun ever cleaning a moose. Cold beer, sun coming through. I had my little Eco Box tunes going in my side-by-side, so I was like celebrating the whole time. It was the cleanest, smoothest, no hair, no dirt in the meat. Like, how did we do this like perfect this time? And I had like more than enough game bags, so every chunk of meat, and this got its own bag. We never are that prepared. So, and then, you know, we decided to howl at the moon that night, one more party, beautiful Northern Lights show again, reminiscing, burn all the wood, drink all the scotch and the beer, rolled out of there the next day. I was trying to make the meeting.
Which you didn't. That's okay.
We took care of it.
But it was just such a glorious...
I need some burger too now, actually, thinking about this.
And what, like, the end of it all was, like, cruising back into town and going through the flats and Pioneer Peak and Twin and the sun. And it was just like... It was beautiful. It was just like cloud nine, man. Feeling of just the brotherhood, the hunting, the experience, the harvest. Proud out with your antlers on the back of your machine, cruising into town. Everybody's like honking and thumbs up, you know, and that whole thing. And I was like,
doing an extra lap.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, go through the neighborhood just to make sure all the hunting guys in the neighborhood, like, yep, see it, boys. That's right. 6 brow tines on one side, if you're wondering. But you know, I guess I wanted to just say again, I learned patience, and that was probably the biggest message and something I took from it. And then the don't take it for granted. Don't take hunting for granted. Don't take the experience for granted. Sometimes it may not go the way you plan, and it can be a nightmare. Sometimes it may not go the way you plan, and it turns into the greatest experience of your life. And sometimes there's just something in between. But if you can get out, that's the most important part, is that you got out and you executed something, and you gave it a go. And so I was humbly reminded again to really truly cherish the opportunity that we have to hunt the public lands, the stuff that we have. And then if you live here and you got a close knit group of buddies and a connection and your crew, you got your guys, and it means everything. So thanks to my brother Eric, all my friends that listen to all my woes and my bitching and complaining about this, that, and the other, and it came together, man, and I'm very grateful for it. So thanks to everybody.
And that'll be good for the meat party.
Yes, it will be very good for the meat party.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's an awesome story. So how many
Thanks,
days?
yeah.
You were out 8 days, you said, total?
I guess so. By Tuesday was the 8th day.
And you're
Yeah.
camping in a tent, or?
Oh, man. I was super gooched out.
Okay.
I was so
Okay.
good.
Wood
I-
stove in the tent?
No, so Eric brought his Arctic oven that he just bought,
Oh, my.
and him and my brother were like sweating ass cracks every night, like because they were overcooking themselves
hot.
in that thing.
Too hot.
Sorry, the sweating ass cracks. This is my brother's thing. He's like, why do you gotta keep telling me that part? You must have been really hot. That's gross. But I was in my 4-man Cabela's guide, and if you ever stayed in those little bomb shelter tents, they're low, so kind of shitty belly crawling out of there. But I had my little short cot in there, and I just had my full yard sale of my own going. And when the guys came, I mean, I had firewood stacked, canopy, cook stove, cooler of beer, cast iron, butter. I mean, I had steaks and scotch. I mean, it was.
You weren't suffering.
This is
No.
straight luxury.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I had I brought a 2-pound or whatever, the big 2-gallon propane can with the Coleman,
tree,
lantern.
yeah.
I mean, there was, 2 weeks worth of toilet paper. I mean, I made sure like every single possible thing was covered, man.
Well, you have been
I was
planning and listening to everyone going, so you're just itching like, oh yeah, I forgot about this.
Oh, man.
Add that to the pile.
Yeah.
I feel like I had my gear dialed beyond the best I've ever done, because I think it was by myself too.
Yeah.
So I wasn't relying on like, oh, you're bringing
Yep.
that, and I'm bringing
Right.
this. Like, no, I'm bringing all the water, all
Yeah.
my own propane, all my own stuff. I even brought a shooting block for my bow and arrow. So I was like, I'd come back in the afternoon. It would get hot there a couple of days. I'd throw some basketball shorts on, crack open a beer, sling some arrows, listening to 2 Chainz, and I was happy, man.
Oh, that's great.
Thanks for letting me share that, guys, and the time on air to do so, because it was a great experience. And man, just when you think it's all going to go to shit, something amazing happens.
There you
never
go.
know.
Good.
Never know.
Welcome to Alaska Wild Project episode 137.
Yes.
A little late intro. Today we have Jesse Rostad. Did I say that correct?
You said that
All
correctly.
right. And Jesse Glamann.
Glamann, yeah.
Glamann.
Oh, man.
Sounds really
Oh, man.
fancy.
That's the
wow.
fancy version.
That was the
right.
French. That was the French
Would
version.
I
Friday
be
night, yeah.
super corny to be like, yeah, man, Glamann.
Oh, right.
Glamann? Glamann.
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 Yeah.
Glamann.
Glamann.
What did I say?
There you go.
Glamann.
I like that. I'm going to call him that from now on.
Glamann.
Yeah.
Depends what
I
that
am.
is. Yeah, sure.
From Big Rays,
Yes.
owners of Big Rays. First of all, thank you guys for your support in the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for what you are providing to the state of Alaska. I guess we could say pretty much almost the entire state of Alaska. I know that I took I think I told you this in our meeting, on my moose hunt, I took some rookies, my uncles from out of state and my cousin from out of state, and we went directly to Big Rays and spent a whole bunch of money because they obviously didn't have anything that they needed, and they were able to find everything that they needed in one place. So thank you guys for that.
Thank you.
That's
Little
good to hear.
little plug there. That was great. Did you go on the Arolik trip this year?
I did another river in Western Alaska, the Good News River.
How was that?
Great. It's
Good.
my 5th year doing a river down in Western Alaska. So,
Who do you go with?
My dad.
Okay.
Okay.
My dad
Nice.
and I go every year, and then a couple years it's been just my dad and I, and then other years my dad's best friend. My dad's been floating rivers in Alaska for 40 years, and so his best friend comes with us too, and usually his wife or his grandson. So yeah, it's so much fun.
That's great.
I love it.
You guys slam or what?
Yeah, I mean, world-renowned fishing down there, so you get pretty spoiled. But the last couple years, it's really hit or miss. Obviously, you're going for huge rainbows, but there's rainbows, dollies, all 5 species of salmon are in the river when you're there. But this last year, it was so hot, we went the end of July, and it was 80 degrees. And of course, most years, it is just dumping rain. It is, I've told you, it's awful. Like, pouring rain, you don't see the sun because you're on the river for 10 days. You get dropped off on a float plane, and it's just us, our gear. You're never inside. That's it. So I have like layer after layer after layer, and it was so hot this time. I was like, why didn't I bring shorts and a t-shirt? All I have is like merino base layer and super heavy duty stuff.
I'm just gonna rip these arms
Oh
off.
my God, I was dying. But so the fish were laying pretty low.
Okay, so hot.
Yeah, but there was still, we still got a good amount of rainbows, big rainbows, and the silvers were coming in at that time too. So,
nice.
But honestly, the best part about that trip is you're in the middle of nowhere. Truly, when I say you are cut off from society,
Super remote.
you don't see another soul for 8 days.
That's
you
the
know,
best.
and
The
so
phone's
sounds-
not working.
Email's not working. No one can
Yeah.
get a hold of me.
Yeah.
Truly, you are completely isolated, and to me, that's my favorite part is just being out completely in the wilderness. So I
That's
love
great.
it.
You know, I was never fully disconnected in any way on this
Sure.
trip. So when I went by myself, I didn't feel alone
Yeah.
in that way where you kind of get in your head on shit and hear
Sure.
things. Like I didn't. It was okay this year because everything going on, but I sometimes hate not being fully disconnected.
Yeah.
As soon as you take it off airplane mode, it's like beep 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 beep.
I know.
It's like I'm out in the woods, man.
I know.
Right.
It's nice to go to a place where there's no choice.
Yeah.
And that's,
Like
I think,
that,
the
you
best
just turn
thing.
that thing off.
I have
Unless you're
no
using the camera.
control. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
like you check your email. You can't help it. You say you're not
Sure.
going to, and you
Yeah.
still do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have no option. You can't do that. If you want, you can turn on your Garmin. You can use a sat phone, but that's
Sure.
it.
Yeah, just check in.
Call
And
mom.
we need to
That's
keep
it.
a lot of places like that too.
Absolutely.
So GCI, ACS, Starlink, whoever, slow it down.
I know.
That's right.
Slow it down
Starlink
around
thing.
here.
You
I know.
guys, I've seen 2 guys go out this year on their moose hunts deep, hitting the Netflix at night
with the rectangular dish on
with,
top.
with the
Yeah.
with the
No
with
way.
the Starlink on
Yeah.
top of their
Really?
What are those big badass Can-Am Defenders?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or one guy was the Defender, and he was going deep in his spot, and then another guy I think was an Argo group. And I remember seeing a picture. They had a really great moose hunt, beautiful weather. I'm like, does he got that damn thing on there too? Like, holy shit! I mean, I didn't know it was that readily available.
Yeah.
I thought it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Warmer people
I
using
mean,
that.
just it's all about the
Not even
coin,
really that.
right?
It's not even that.
It's not even that expensive.
$600. I'm just looking at them for Kodiak.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cheap.
I mean, it definitely has its
what you
place. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to have it for when you need it.
Yes.
I just was like, I mean, in my camp, I'd have loved to watch some. Actually, one time I did watch Netflix. I had 5G.
5G.
But sometimes it's like, hey, man, I want to watch a movie. It's
Yeah.
raining.
Check out, read a book. Yeah.
Yeah, you can only sit in a tent smelling your buddy's farts for
know.
so long. Like, God, man,
Yep.
out of here.
Yep.
Yeah, slow it down. Let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and
Yeah.
jump into
All
your
of it.
story.
All of it.
You all right? You ready? You prep for that?
Sure.
All right, good.
He's waiting his turn.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters and outdoor enthusiasts with the highest quality gear and equipment since they opened their doors in 1963. Barney's carries exclusive brands such as Alpaca Rafts, Sitka Sims, Exo Mountain Gear, Hilleberg, and much more. Barney's prides themselves with keeping a huge stock on hand of various top-of-the-line tents, footwear, sleeping bags, optics, cross-country skis, just to name a few. Barney's is also the exclusive retailer of Montana knives, Seek Outside, Kafaru, Stone Glacier, and their in-house brand, Frontier Gear of Alaska. Barney's has a superior selection of top-rated boots, sleeping bags, dry bags, mountaineering gear, electronics, and accessories. Need freeze-dried food or mountain snacks? They got that too. Barney's now has an amazing new paperback catalog available for in-store pickup or online order. Visit them today at barneysports.com, or even better, stop by the store in Anchorage at 906 West Northern Lights. If you want the best, there's only one name in the game, Barney's Sports Chalet.
The Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. BHA is the voice of our Alaska public lands, waters, and wildlife. From national level policy work to engagement with boots on the ground projects from Kotzebue to Ketchikan, BHA performs public land cleanups, hunting and fishing clinics, and community education to help take your game to the next level. BHA's community-minded goal is to uphold our hunting and fishing legacy while keeping wildlands wild and fostering the next generation of sportsmen and women for years to come. Make sure to follow BHA Alaska for upcoming events, local brewery pint nights, and more. Stand up for Alaska public lands and waters by supporting the Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. Join us today at backcountryhunters.org.
The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. When you pull up to the Treehouse, you'll notice the beautifully hand-drawn art by Alaska's own Ted Kim. Once you get inside, you're going to see many of the same people that have been there since they opened. The bud tenders know you and what you like and what new product you should be checking out. The store is super clean and the music's always on point. The Treehouse and local owner Josh Boots is a staple in the cannabis culture through his music, community givebacks, and a lifetime desire to bring the people of Alaska the best products available. The Treehouse always has at least 25 strains available, and they're all shown prominently deli style in clear, openable jars so you can see and smell your options. Other products include edibles, concentrates, vape carts, pre-rolls, flour, dab rigs, and anything else you need, they got it. They also have some pretty sick merchandise for sale. Check out thetreehouseak.com, or better yet, stop by the Treehouse today and get started on their loyalty program. Remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
That's got to about make you want to just
Rethink your trip.
Well,
Yes.
yeah. What am I even doing?
Why did I do
here?
that?
Yeah, like why would I even do that? I've heard that my neighbor had a guide, an 8-man guide that got pancaked, and then they had to sit there and weather it, and then when it died down, they set up like a half-assed like lean-to tarp thing
Sure.
until they could get pulled out of there, and they sat just basically behind that tarp for 3 or 4 days.
Ugh.
No hunting, no nothing, just trying to survive.
Making sure whatever they got left doesn't blow away.
Right, all of that,
Yeah.
and then got flown out, and they didn't even hunt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I don't know about all that. I happened to do a Kodiak trip years ago. I didn't get the wicked wind, but it got really wet,
Yeah.
and I never seen water rise
Yeah.
so fast down in that like Saltery
Oh yeah.
down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That those tidal areas.
Yep.
That is, whoa.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
can
don't put your tent in the wrong spot.
That's right.
Oh.
That's
yeah,
right.
and I went with like a what I thought was like an old school Kodiak dude. So I felt like, oh, we're putting our tent here. Okay, well, if you say so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking at the wild horses and the scenery. I'm like, oh, this is so cool, man.
You
Sure,
guys
sounds good.
Ride over or fly
Yeah,
over?
yeah. No, it was an awesome
neat
trip.
area.
But it came at the end. We got out of there and it snowed, and I got like a little taste of it. And then coming back on the ferry, going across the Barrens, holy shit! That big ferry was. I was up in the front lane in the front part where all the guests. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a room, so I was just sleeping on my,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
on an air pad on the ground.
Yeah.
Doing that whole thing. I'll get a room next time.
Yep.
But first time I did that, and when the boat was doing that, I'm like, wait a minute, this thing's like 70 feet long or
Yeah.
whatever it is, or maybe longer.
Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're big boats.
No, the Tustamina, that's huge.
Oh, the Kennecott. Yeah.
Or which one?
The Kennecott's bigger.
I don't
But
know. It had a flatbed and a backhoe and a skid steer and shit in it. So it was one of the
Yeah,
big ones. I
yeah.
can't remember. I thought it was the Tustamina.
Okay.
Is the Kennecott bigger?
Yeah, Kennecott's bigger.
Okay.
But the Tuscany's been doing
It was
for
it was
forever.
a cool trip. It was a ton, not the rabbit hole too much, but it was just cool to get on the ferry with all those folks from Port Lions
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
Kodiak
Yeah.
and the other communities. Uzinki?
Yeah.
Uzinki?
Yep.
Did I say that right?
Uzinki, yep.
Uzinki?
Yep.
And like, people coming back with all like the Costco run and the
Right.
Walmart run and all, like the one dude had a flatbed truck just with pallets of stuff. And I'm like, wow, man, that village life and that ferry life. And it was amazing that there was this lifestyle people were living. You don't really know it until you see
Sure.
it. You got a little taste of it on the ferry. It's so cool, man. God, Kodiak's awesome.
Yeah. How long have you lived there?
About 40 years.
40?
40 years?
Jesus.
I moved up there when I was 2 or 3.
Okay. Let's start there.
Been there ever since. Been there ever
Been
since.
there ever since?
Yeah. I moved to Sitka for 6 or 8 years when I was 6 or 7 years old.
Okay.
Came back. Dad was in the Coast Guard there, so that's took him to Sitka, and then he retired, and in Sitka came back to Kodiak.
Okay. So high school, middle school,
High school,
everything.
Yep. Yeah, I got back to Kodiak would have been probably 6th or 7th grade. So about the perfect time to get out and do what I like to do.
Yeah. So when did you begin the involvement with Big Rays?
I started working for a company called Mac Sport Shop.
Okay.
In '97, and it was owned by Tom Merriman, Cheryl Merriman, and they sold to the current owners of Big Rays, Mike, Mark, and Monty, in 2009. And so at that time, I was offered a position to manage the Max Sport Shop store in Kodiak. Long time between then and 2019 when Jessica and I became owners. But yeah.
Wow. So just a lifetime of Kodiak. That's a lot.
That's all I know. I
That's
mean,
a lot.
Jessica gives me crap sometimes. I come to the big city of Anchorage, but
there's more than 2 stoplights.
Yeah,
he gets anxious when there's like 3 cars in line at an intersection.
I bet.
Line of people at the grocery store, more than 6 people. It takes me 7 minutes to go to work.
Yeah.
But I am 7 to 10 minutes away from world-class fishing.
Yes.
I'm a half an hour away from the trailhead, so I'll take that.
Yeah.
I take it.
Yeah.
Jesse and Kara got a beautiful ocean boat a few years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
You gotta have that there, no?
Yeah, you got to. I had one for years that was just one of those little 8-knot putt around boats.
Yeah.
My lifestyle doesn't accommodate 8 knots. So
Yeah.
Actually, the boat's built out of Anchorage called the Glacier Craft.
Oh yeah.
That is
Those
a
are
nice
It
boat.
was a gem. It was
What does
just
that got? Like some 350s hanging off the back?
twin
or
225s.
225s? Okay.
For now, anyway.
Is that a?
There's got to cough me out, Bart guy today, so we'll see.
Well, typically,
you want me to edit that out? Or?
Typically, if you don't mind me saying, that usually makes the boat a good deal. With the idea later, I'm putting some big boys on.
That's kind of the idea.
You're like, it's a little underpowered. Price is right,
Yeah.
and I can probably throw another $50K in motors in that thing.
And then it'll be sweet. That's
It'll be
exactly
sweet.
what I want.
I know exactly how that works.
But it gives us the flexibility to take off on a Friday afternoon and spend a weekend somewhere like Naknek, or even just someplace local and go hang out on an anchor and let the dogs
get out to a
nuts.
hole or somewhere that you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
With some speed, right?
Yeah, I mean,
couple
it's
hours.
even that.
Do you even have to go that far,
No,
really?
No,
Yeah.
I mean with that size of a boat, it's an hour and a half someplace far. That gets you.
That gets
to
you
remote. Mm-hmm.
What have
Very
you
cool.
seen as far as growth in Kodiak? Community, is there more people moving in? Is there more tourists coming? Obviously, there's always been hunters that are coming there and fishermen that are coming there and crabbers and stuff like that. But since you've been there for so long, have you seen it be pretty steady, or what's your outlook on what population-wise?
I think the population's shrinking mildly, depending on what you believe. They got the city and the borough, and I don't know why we have both, but we have this, and then we have the world's largest Coast Guard base, which adds population numbers to it, and they're not too free about how many people live out there, so you have to kind of take that into account. But the tax base for the last couple of years has kind of been shrinking a little bit since 2020. I mean, the hunters have showed up in droves. I mean, it's when people came back to life, I guess.
Yeah.
They were showing up in some pretty astounding numbers. Too many. I mean, I think there's a certain amount of population that there's a certain amount of pressure that island will sustain.
Gotcha.
Oh wow! Okay.
And so I think we saw that peak, and it's kind of going back the other way, which is just perfect. But it's still, there's still a lot of area for people to operate out of, and a lot of area for people to go out and sightsee and bear view and hunt and fish. And I actually the last 2 or 3 years I've seen more people show up that don't have a rifle or a rod in their hand, like a camera. And a lot of people that are just out doing that thing. So
That's gotten big.
yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, and they're doing a lot of film crews coming through there. Les Shroud's coming through doing some stuff. Nat Geo, so you get to see some cool stuff.
Hell yeah!
Once in a while, you're popping on Hulu or something, and you go, "Oh, look at the cop show on Kodiak."
Yeah. There's Trooper so and so.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's any really outdoor adventurer, hunter, fisherman. It's on probably everybody's list to go to Kodiak. I mean, obviously there's Alaska as the list, and if you even get a little bit narrower, it's like, where are you going to go in Alaska? I want to go to Kodiak in Alaska.
People generally hear about it, but when they're not in that circle, if they're hunters, they know about it. They've heard about it. They've made a decision to go or not go.
It's a destination,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I once saw in a day a black-tailed deer, a bear, brown bear, a buffalo, an elk, a goat, a fox, tons of waterfowl birds, a whale, and in the back, the whale was in the background of a dude surfing. This was all in a drive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was
It's a lot to look at.
Sportsman, like, oh my God.
Overload.
And I think I got super lucky because it came off of a shitty rainy day and it was the first sunny day. And I think everything was like, I can get out in the sun. So everything was out at the right time. And I caught a glimpse of a goat up there and I happened to see an elk. Some of them are on the private lands.
Right,
And that, the point is that the uniqueness of the place harbors such cool stuff to see. There's a missile silo thing at the end of the island that people don't even know. And then there's a bro out there surfing and then this guy's over there catching 18-pound silvers and I'm like, oh my God, this is like
never leaving.
I mean, I really was, I could totally live here based on that like outdoors feel. It seems like it was like a limited winter. Maybe I was like that longer.
Depends on the wind direction.
True.
Some years we can get 2 inches of snow, and sometimes it's 2 inches a day. It's just we had 67 degrees, 64 degrees in December 27th last year.
64?
Two years ago.
I remember that year. I was out hiking around. I forget the name of the bay in a t-shirt on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, it was
for a window. I mean, it was just warm for a couple hours, and I had to put puffy back on when the sun went down.
Right.
The fact that I was able to do that, and then it's such a unique, almost like its own country or something.
Well, it's the cool thing about you go to the north end of the island, it's all wooded and it's forest and flat. Not really flat, but it's not. You get to the south end of the island, it's like the Alaska Peninsula or out west. You don't have that.
Right.
So you can have an hour-long flight seeing tour and see two or three different types of terrain.
Yeah, it's so
unique
cool,
area.
man.
Unique area.
Do you feel like you know it like the back of your hand?
No.
Is there still places you're like, I gotta still check this out?
Every time I think about the things I want to do, the punch list things, or where I want to go hunt and fish, I always think the interior, the north, catch big grayling, and there's another 20 or 30 spots that I want to go inspect on Kodiak. There's still so much for me to see. There's a lot of history there that isn't really captured very well. From the game being planted there by Teddy Roosevelt's administration. I mean, the only indigenous mammal on Kodiak is a bear bat and the vole. Everything else has been planted there.
Bear bat and the which one?
The vole.
The vole.
Mm-hmm.
The bear, the bat, and the vole.
And the vole.
BBV.
And maybe birds. The migration of birds.
Oh yeah.
So that's what it is. I thought the bear was the only. Well, no, because the bear had to have something to eat.
Berries, fish.
Berries, berries, and fish. Fish are probably what they really truly survived on.
Thing,
Wow, man.
Yeah, deer are new. Relatively. It's only 70 years. Goats are new, and they're exploding. Goats or elk are fantastic, and I think if you read some older reports, Fish and Game has been trying to really keep that herd thinned out.
Yeah,
because they can eat themselves out of house and home pretty easily.
Aren't there reindeer? Or caribou?
Yeah, they're reindeer.
They're reindeer. Yeah. Where are those at?
Wherever you find them.
Okay.
They're not in. I mean, it's south end of the island typically, but they're just like any other caribou. They're wandering around nervously.
Yeah.
As soon as the kind of gunfire happens, they take off.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys get tags, but they're just an opportunity. You see them, you go.
Yeah. It's crazy that the landscape, the habitat, is able to provide enough for everything to thrive.
And you go down there and I remember going hunting when we lived in Sitka, we'd come back and hunt out of Zachary Bay and Zachary Bay Lodge. And I remember a couple times, I remember seeing this picture at Island Air, and there's this beach with hundreds of deer on it. And I remember hunting, passing up those deer because there was too many in the crowd to shoot. You're on a subsistence hunt. You're out the beach. It's hunting.
Yeah.
And you don't have that opportunity anymore. The population's kind of settled in.
Yeah.
But you sit there on the beach or an open part of the country and you look for a half a day and nothing's there. And then you run a call or the sunlight changes. The next thing you know, there's deer everywhere. There are so many places for these animals to hide.
Yeah.
And they're at your feet. They're
bedded down, and then because blacktail are just Houdinis.
Yeah.
They just slither in and out, and it's tough. And
Many
bears
times.
too, right?
Bears too, yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. They'll take
massive as they are.
2 steps in the brush and flat out
Gone.
disappear.
Gone.
Yeah.
What's the biggest bear you've seen out there?
Probably 10 and a half.
Yeah.
We got a 10,
So say we
10 2 in the store.
We have a big one in our store.
Oh, okay.
That was shot by the previous owner.
Oh, I want to ask about the store. I discovered Max. When is Max?
Is it renamed now?
Yeah,
It's
so we
officially
renamed
Big Ray's,
all
right?
of our stores to Big Ray's in 2015, but Big Ray's bought Max Sport Shop in 2008. So for 7 years,
Oh.
kept the name the same.
In
Okay.
2008. Okay, so my first discovery of Kodiak was like maybe 06, 07 before that.
Yeah.
And dude, Jesse, I'm pretty sure you might have checked me out on when I bought something there for the first time, and
It's
I'm pretty
likely.
sure you were there, dude. Because when you walked in, I'm like, I've seen you, and it had to be at the store.
Probably.
Could you say $39.99 real quick?
That's
And we have a sale today. Buy one Carhhart, get one half off. No, I was so blown away that I floated into Kodiak, and there was this badass sporting goods shop. Made sense when I got there. I'm like, of course, it's Kodiak. You know, you got the hunting and the fishing and everything else. But when I went in there, I was appalled at how much good stuff was in there. I mean, it was all top of the line. I mean, at that time, were you guys doing Sims and all that back
probably
then?
not. In 2006?
Not, yeah, maybe not,
not.
yet. That might have been like right there toward the end or the swap over, because it all of a sudden went Max to Big Ray's, and I didn't think, because the store didn't change much.
No.
So it was like, oh, was it always like Max was like a part of Big Ray's or something?
Well,
I never knew, but.
It's always funny. I mean, because Jesse's in Kodiak. I go to Kodiak every couple months, but when you say like, "Oh, I work at Big Ray's," people go, "Oh, you mean Max Sport Shop?"
Oh,
You know,
sure.
and I go, absolutely, whatever you want to call it. If you're shopping at the store, I'm very happy about that.
Yeah.
But
They
a lot
won't
of
let it
people-
go.
which is
Oh,
fine.
my mom still calls it Max.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
yeah.
good buddies still call it.
7-Eleven,
they're that Big
Mapco.
Ray's.
Yeah.
It's not a holiday. It's Mapco.
Oh, I mean, it's forever Mapco on the hill.
Yeah.
It'll never be holiday on the hill. It's
Yeah.
Mapco on the hill, right? That makes sense, though. I mean, the diehard 40-plus year residents, right? Like,
Yeah. And I've always heard like the comments like that for years, you know, and I never really understood it till you really go out into, you know, to really, it's Cabela's or it's you go around, there's places in Anchorage that
you
do
go to a
really
larger
job.
market, you realize that there's more of those, and you wouldn't expect that there.
Well, that or they really don't have a place that has it all in one. You got to be a big box store
Okay,
to
very
do all
true.
that. You know, you go get your ammo here and your food there and your jacket here. It's not all in one spot. So it took me kind of a while to realize that and recognize that. So
Yeah.
very very proud of that because it's what we do and it's a lot of fun. You know,
It is.
a lot of fun
And
picking
I
it out.
think one of the first things I ever bought there was something for my daughter. I think I bought her,
Shack it.
no, I think I bought her like I couldn't find a neck buff to save my life in town. And I was just in there and I realized, I'm like, oh my God, I walk in there and I grab my credit card and I'm like, yeah, put that away and grab my debit card because that has less of a limit on it. And I just bought a buff or whatever. And I was like, wow, even this little shop in Kodiak has stuff for kids.
Yeah.
I was always blown away by that. Like you guys,
Well, it's a small market. We have
and there's families out there. There's lots of them.
That's right.
Yeah. Is that diner still open down the way?
Unfortunately,
closed.
she died this spring.
What's it called?
Kings.
King's died.
Kings. Greasy spoon, bacon and eggs,
man.
biscuits and gravy.
It's a staple before every
Cheeseburgers.
fly out hunt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Every hunt
oh
past
man!
October 1st.
I used to be an independent insurance adjuster, and so I did auto damage appraisals. So I would fly in, I'd go to RCs, look at wrecked cars, or I'd go out to people's places, and it was always just like in and out for the day. I'd find weather windows, and so I could get in and out. But I always flew in and went right there for breakfast. Rented a car, ran there, had my bacon, eggs, and pancakes, and then went and did my thing. So it was just there was just local, just beautiful local folks of all like Kodiak's folks, man. Like, if you guys know what I mean by that, right? Like,
I think so.
It felt very like this is a spot where you're going to get the best plate of pancakes in town, for sure.
or else.
I mean, I mean, 'cause I judge a greasy spoon on its pancakes, and they're pretty killer at King's. It's shut down though, huh?
Yep.
What a bummer,
That's
man.
unfortunate.
Anything take its place?
Big Ray's
Nope.
pancakes.
Better watch out.
There you go. There
You
you
guys
go.
need to buy King's and revamp
Who's
that
flipping?
shit. Get it going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you are from Fairbanks, correct?
I am born and raised.
Born and
Right,
raised.
right.
Born and raised in Fairbanks.
That's a
Real
whole different-
Alaska. as
Real
we like to call
Alaska.
it.
You hear that, Kodiak? Real Alaska.
I mean, Kodiak is real Alaska. Anchorage,
Hold on now.
kidding.
No. Hold on a second. Anchorage is very mild.
Yes.
We don't have the Kodiak. We don't have the Great Northwest Oregon,
Rain.
thing, but we also don't have that brutal, dry, super cold.
Yeah.
The puddles start freezing like September 10th in Fairbanks versus today, October 2nd in Anchorage.
No. Although we were just talking about that because I'm going to Fairbanks tomorrow night, and it just snowed today, which was kind of late for it to snow. So
Right.
kind of nice. But
And then Anchorage in the South Central Bowl, we really have a mild average
Truly.
through the year.
Yeah.
I think our average temp is like 30 degrees or something like that.
Yeah.
We don't have those crazy cold. I mean, I went to Minnesota last year for a hockey tournament, and it was colder there than in Anchorage. It was like 30 degrees in town, and it was 5 below in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Went walking around downtown to go get a beer. I'm like, what the? Like,
and it's windy.
sucks.
Yeah, it gets cold.
like, yuck. I went right back to the hotel bar. I was like, I'm not going out. I'm like, that sucks. But Fairbanks, for the record, is, I mean, I have a lot of family that hailed
Sure.
from the Fairbanks days of like living out in Salcha, living in North Pole, just killing a moose in the yard, and like
know what
that
they
kind
say.
of day. And
You know what they say?
I can't wait to hear it.
The
What-
Salcha boys will cut you.
I did not. How I never heard that saying before.
well, some North Pole guys
For some
told
other
me this.
For some other sayings about that.
You go hunting around in Fairbanks' backyard, you
Yeah.
get some boys that will get real territorial when they find out you're from Anchortown.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
Sure.
That's true.
But
But no, I'm born and raised in Fairbanks, but I've lived in Anchorage for 12 years now.
okay,
Yeah.
Salcha boys will cut you.
I'm going to remember
Salsa
that.
boys will cut you.
I would need to make the shirt for those boys.
I mean, have you been through Salcha?
I have.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You survived.
Yeah, our flight,
You
sporting
see
goods
the
manager up there
scar?
is from Soldier.
Oh, really? Okay. Does he commute?
Not anymore.
Oh.
He used to.
But yeah, he had. I mean, they get a lot of flooding there every spring, right?
Oh, yeah.
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 And he was right in that spot. So
Right.
every spring he was panicking.
I always get it's crazy that stretch from Delta to Fairbanks. That part of the highway is nasty.
Yeah.
When it snows, I mean, it is
Brutal.
a greasy. Moose are jumping across the road. Truckers are ripping,
Yeah.
spitting rocks.
Yep.
Man, I got two rental car claims against me for renting cars and having to run out there.
Yeah.
And coming back with chips in the windshield. I'm like,
was
well,
everybody.
I mean, the fucking gravel truck is his fault.
No, I believe it. My parents,
That was everybody picked it up. What are you talking about?
Oh, shit, man.
my parents have a cabin on the Delta Clearwater, so we go out there a lot. But yeah, it gets brutal on that highway sometimes. People just go
Yeah.
fast.
Where'd you grow up in Fairbanks? Like, what area? Like,
I was
Cushman Drive, Airport Way?
I was
like
off of
where?
Farmers Loop, so
Okay.
by the university, kind of up in the hills.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
nice. It's nice.
It's really pretty up there.
I had to ask because that is kind of like the hillside of Fairbanks, I think.
It might.
There
I
you
mean,
go.
it
Good
is on the
way to- I
hill.
was just going to say that.
It is on the hill, so there's that. But no, it was nice because it was my family, and then my grandfather was 2 minutes away, and then my aunt and uncle and cousins were 2 minutes away. So we all lived like in this compound
that's
together.
nice.
So it was kinda
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the background there with the Big Rays connection?
Sure. So My dad is still one of the owners of Big Ray's, and his two business partners, Mike Miller and Mark Kruver, who are here in Anchorage, their father started it in 1947. And my dad was born in Minot, North Dakota, but his dad was in the military and traveled around. And so they came up to Anchorage when he was like in 8th grade, stationed at J-Bear. And my dad needed a job in high school, so his best friend was working at Army Navy. And just slinging freight. And he was like, oh, sure, I'll do that for a summer. And so he did that for a summer. And I actually think he got fired from Army Navy. But then he came back another summer and he went off to college down in the States. And then he got his degree in business and he was going to move to Dallas. And the owners, Glenn Miller and Howard Kruver, needed someone to run the Fairbanks store. And my dad said, hell no, I'm not going to Fairbanks.
Yeah.
But they said, hey, we really want you to run it just for a year. Come on up. You'll save us. We'd really appreciate it. So he said, sure, I'll come up for a year.
Yeah.
And then a year passed and they said, hey, you want to stay up for another year? Come on. He said, okay, I'll do one more year and then I'm moving back to Dallas. He had already bought a house. He had a job lined up down there. And
it's pretty nice down there.
It's pretty nice, but a couple years, he met my mom, and then it was getting to the point where he had another job offer. I know.
Get you every time.
He had another job offer.
Spoils the best of plans.
God damn it. Where did that come
Don't
from?
tell him that. He's not a softie at all. But the way he always says is there was another job offer in California. There was he was really good friends with the owners of Levi's because Big Ray's, Army Navy, used to be one of the largest Levi supplier in the United States. All of Johnny Cash's black Levi's he used to buy from Army Navy in downtown Anchorage. Little known fact.
Wow.
So we were a big player in the Levi's, sphere, and so my dad was good friends with them, and they wanted to start a new brand of clothing, and they wanted someone to run it. And so my dad went back to the owners of Big Ray's and said, hey, I have this amazing opportunity. If I stay in the business, I'd like to be an owner. And Mike Miller and Mark Kruver, his business partners, were like, yeah, it'd be great to have another person on. The company that he passed up turned out to be The Gap. So, there was an opportunity there. My mom goes, what? Come on.
I feel like that would have kind of elevated some things.
Yeah.
Be the hillside of San Francisco we'd be living on.
Yeah.
But no, so that's kind of how it came to be. And like I said, Mike and Mark, their father started it. And so they kind of came back and helped in the business too. And then the three of them all became equal partners, all 1/3 owners. And they became owners in 1988. And then massive recession happened and every bank was, in foreclosure and the businesses, I think at one point there were like 10 Big Ray's. There were luggage stores. There was a store in Valdez and Eagle River. Yeah, it was huge.
They went full ham in it.
They went big time.
Okay.
And then really scaled back and and then the three of them really built the business from a surplus store in, downtown Anchorage into what it is today. And
that was the first store.
The first store was the one that's on 4th Avenue right now.
Navy.
Yep. And so Glenn Miller and Howard Kruver in 1947, right after the war ended, started selling surplus out of the back of their car, which was super popular back then, and there was a huge market for it, and they had just great success. So they opened that store that we're still in today and grew it, and then, like I was mentioning, shortly after that, they opened the store in Fairbanks. And then they started to get into like winter wear and work clothing, and obviously oil was discovered, and that was a big deal. And in the 70s, we started supplying all the oil companies on the North Slope and the pipeline, and that really elevated the business. And then in the 80s, Big Ray's was actually like the second largest apparel dealer in Russia because we had all the contracts with Russia. So my dad used to go over to Russia all the time growing up, but we had headquarters in Moscow. I think it was in Moscow. Somewhere in Russia. But we had a headquarters there. We had like 2 employees. It was a big deal. And then it got a little shady in Russia. They got burned. They were living high, and then they got burned big time by the Russian government, and it was out of there. But
no.
Big Russia's now.
Too good to be true.
Way too good to be
true. I mean, it makes sense for the I mean, the climate and they need the same gear.
Yep, and it's easy
do
to
their
get
stuff,
over there.
you know?
Yeah,
That's right.
So there is a great market, but that quickly went away.
Oh,
and,
bummer.
But you know, I look back now, and we've been owners for almost 5 years now. And growing up, I think it was it was just as it was dad's business.
It was a sports shop, yeah.
My mom owned her own business too, so we kind of grew up in both of our parents were business owners. And but some of my youngest memories were spent in our Fairbanks store. It's a huge store. It's like 22,000 square feet.
Whoa.
And it's 3 buildings put together. So there are so many nooks and crannies for like hide and
hiding.
seek.
Hiding.
Yeah.
My brother and I would just get lost for hours in the store. Like no one would know where we were.
Is that the one on Airport Way?
No,
Downtown.
that's the downtown one.
Okay.
But the
there's-
airport, there's 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the downtown one's the big one. But the Airport Way store used to be my mother's antique store.
Yeah.
I know. Good on the
Okay.
family.
In
By the way,
comparison,
My Brewsters
People
or
are still
something like
hiding at our downtown store.
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Some cots nooked in there.
I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, that was built in the early 50s. And just every like 10 years, they added on another section of that building.
Isn't that
So-
Fairbanks, though?
Yes,
Yep.
very
Oh,
much
my
so.
God, man. You drive around Fairbanks, and it's like,
is there any codes?
is there a
around?
code? Is there something like, no, just building around the railroad track?
Yes.
There's a trucker stop over here, put a Pizza Hut there. We'll swear somewhere else. Costco will be good over there.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly it. And that's exactly what our downtown building is like, just like that.
Yeah.
In comparison to the new one in
Yeah.
Anchorage there by Moose's Tooth, what size is that building?
That one is 14,000 square feet.
Okay. And what'd you say Fairbanks was?
It's 22,000, but
Okay.
the Fairbanks store is 3 levels. So it's really just conjointed. So it feels almost smaller than the one, our Midtown Anchorage store, just because that Midtown Anchorage store, you walk in and it's one level, it's
Yeah.
high ceilings.
It takes me a long time to go through that
Well, good,
Fairbanks
that's-
one, to be honest.
The Fairbanks one?
Yeah, because there's so many of the, like, my wife and I went in there a few years back when
Yeah.
we were in town for a hockey tournament. So we
Yeah.
went to Prospector and Big Ray's, and I'm like, oh, these are the 2 best sporting goods shops in town, man.
Yeah.
Let's go. There's always like a gem in here for the kids or whatever. And man, yeah, the downtown Fairbanks store, I was like, oh, honey, there's some stuff over here. There's stuff up here.
You think you're done. I know. You think you're done, and then there's another like nook and cranny.
I feel like we're in there for like 3 hours.
Well, good. That's the whole point.
In between
so that's
hockey
great.
games, we spent like a whole afternoon in there and
Excellent.
come out of there with pretty good between that and the Prospector. But
Good.
funny.
Good.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got a love-hate with Fairbanks, man. I got like I love it because it's that true Alaska,
Mm-hmm.
but I've also run into some really grouchy folks,
Yeah.
you know, at the gas station and
Yeah.
like some real ornery
I believe
SOBs
it.
where I'm like,
I mean, a lot of the people that
where you
live.
from? Anchorage, motherfucker. Okay, here we go. He's like, yeah, pull your knife out on me. All right.
Just don't say you're from Anchorage. Say
I know. I
anywhere
wrote that
else.
real quick. I was like, yeah, I'm from the South.
Yeah. You could say Wasilla and they'll love that, but Anchorage, just no, they don't.
Yeah.
It is
mean,
Anchorage versus
It's
everyone.
true. That's true.
I figured I
That's
should
true.
tell them Willow.
There
Oh,
you
they
go.
love Willow.
Yeah, come
There you
on
go.
in, bud.
It's like,
Willow
that's
is
almost
great.
like Solcha.
It's hard to hate.
It's basically the same thing.
A sled dog's there. That makes sense.
There you go.
Exactly. Exactly.
So growing up in the store,
Yeah.
and then eventually, how did this? You decide like, hey, I'm going to get involved with this. I want to pursue this versus
Something else.
whatever else you did
Yeah.
or wanted to do.
Well, I think that
Graduated in Fairbanks too?
I graduated from West Valley High School.
West
Yes,
Valley.
I
Oh,
did.
you Lathrop or West,
West
Valley?
Valley. I mean, there's only 2, so and Monroe, but yeah.
Oh, right.
I was a West
okay.
Valley girl. But no, I think really looking back, my greatest, I'm so thankful to my parents because not once in my entire childhood did my parents ever say to my brother or I, like, there's any type of expectation that you need to come back and work for the family business or anything like that. And that was, I'm really thankful for that because I know a lot of people who have family businesses who that's the expectation is
Yeah.
that you will do that. And, you know, I went to the University of Oregon for college and wasn't really thinking about the business. I wanted to get into sports management or go to law school. And like my junior year, I started being like, oh God, I graduate in 2 years. I got to get my life together. And so I started thinking about it a bit. Of course, I grew up in the store. I worked there every summer, holidays, you know, child labor.
Little
working for
homesickness?
free. A little bit. But started I kind of knew I wanted to get into business in some capacity. And so after I graduated, I went and worked at Gerber Knives, the hunting knife company. Yeah. And so I had a lot of opportunities with my dad having lots of connections in the outdoor industry. And that's the one place he did not have a connection. So I was like, I'll work there. I want to do this on my own. And so I started working just in account services, lowly position, and then kind of worked my way up into new product development and got to be I was a project coordinator, so got to oversee knives from conception all the way to implementation, which was really rewarding to see. You'd see a sketch of a knife, and 12 months later, I'd be in China, with the knife itself. And I got to go over to China quite a few times and really learn manufacturing and oversee these multi-million-dollar projects. And then I was like, I really love the industry. I love the business. I love everything about it. And I said, Dad, I want to go back to Alaska. And he said, well, I don't have a job for you, so you got to wait for a bit.
Oh,
and then,
we're all booked.
Yep. And so then
cashier opening in Kodiak.
Really, wasn't that far off. But after
start from the bottom.
After about 6 months, he was like, okay, I have a job opening, and it was as a assistant buyer. And Kara, Jesse's wife, was my boss. And so I just was an assistant for her, helping to buy. And then I just kind of worked my way up. And every couple years, I kind of took on a bigger role in the company. And then I became a senior buyer, and then e-commerce. And then I was a market, so I oversaw the Anchorage market. But I always knew I'm super close with my parents, my family, but I wanted some sense of autonomy. And so that's why I chose to come to Anchorage, even though, listen, the reality is I'll always be the boss's daughter. It's never going to change. I know that. But I wanted to be able to prove myself a little bit and have some sense of, my own self. And so that's why I moved to Anchorage. I did not know anyone here.
Break the link a little bit.
Yeah. So just did that, and then, worked my way up. And then, February 1st of 2019, Jesse and I became owners and partners. And so we both kind of worked our way through the ranks.
Did you say February 1st?
Yes.
2019?
Yes.
Damn, right before COVID.
Was this an idea that you guys...
Our first full year, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow. High five.
Yeah, we're like,
we made it.
We're going into year 2.
What did we get ourselves into?
Buy a retail store to be fun, they said.
Yeah,
right.
Sure.
No, it was a blast.
Yeah.
We'll deliver you Carhartts.
Yeah. Were you guys approached by the parents and like, hey, we're looking to sell this? Or was it an idea that you guys were like, hey, I'm looking to...
love this story because my dad and I had talked about it for a while. I would say for about 2 to 3 years, he and I had talked about it. And, he was really testing me out. I want to be very clear. This was not given to Jesse or I. We are buying the business just like anyone else. And it's truly their retirement, so their retirement is based on us keeping this business successful and profitable.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Don't fuck it up now.
That 100%.
So they're like, COVID's about to hit, so we're going to go ahead and pass this down to you guys. Yeah. Buy this for premium and good luck.
Yes, exactly.
We kind of need to still be able to make it to Mexico every year.
Exactly. So I think my dad was really testing me out to see if this is what I wanted to do. If you make this commitment, it's your life. It really is.
You're
committed
to it.
Yeah. And I was really committed, but he was also testing me out to see if I could do it. And it's not a job that you can do by yourself. It's really not. It's a two woman and man job. And we had talked about partners, and of course Jesse was obviously you got to have. Jesse would be the best partner to have. He's been with the business for so long. We work really well together. We respect each other. We're both hard workers. So I just remember we all went to dinner. Do you remember this? We all went to dinner at Kinley's. Mm-hmm. The 5 owners. So my dad, myself, Mike, Mark, and Jesse. And I guess I always thought Jesse knew that this was going to happen. Like this was something we had all kind of talked about.
You guys didn't own the building next door at this time yet?
No.
Okay.
Well, but we were in that store.
We were in that store.
Okay.
Just
at that time,
half that.
Okay, that's right. Okay, Meineke was there.
So we were
okay,
there.
I'm sorry to throw that in. I was just like, is it just a coincidence that happened?
No, we were
sitting having dinner looking at Big Rays.
No, we were there. So we all had this dinner, and we just kind of bring up the conversation to Jesse, like, hey, it's time. We're gonna take over this. It's time for you guys to become owners of Big Rays. Jesse did not expect that to be coming. You were a little bit taken aback. Yeah. And he said, okay, I got to talk to my wife about this.
And real quick, Jesse, your role at this time at Max was you were like GM
Yeah.
of Max, or I'm sorry, of
All Big Rays.
Oh yeah, I was
okay.
I was what they would call the senior market manager. So I was responsible for all the sales floors, all the stores manager. So I was already in the stores and
Okay.
At one point, Jessica worked for me.
I sure did.
Okay. So
It was a rough time, but
It was a rough time.
Well, I just feel you guys
both of
were
us.
definitely up. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
We were both
overseeing a lot.
Yeah, we were both
Okay,
overseeing
okay.
a lot.
And there was a conversation that took place one day between her dad and I, and maybe it was a review or something like that. And
Yeah.
Kind of plant the seed a little bit, kind of a thing?
When the time comes,
Okay.
yeah.
Are you still one of the longest employees there? Is
his
there?
his wife is.
Oh, your wife is.
Yeah. Is she the?
Eric.
Eric is. Eric celebrated 35 years
Yeah.
Wow. In Kodiak.
in Kodiak.
Been with the company for 35 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, I think we're really proud of the fact that we do every 5-year anniversary, we do something big for our staff when they're celebrating a 5-year
yeah.
milestone. And I would say every year we have 4 or 5,
Yeah.
which is this year we had a couple 10s, 15s.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
really
great.
long-term
Wow.
employees
Yeah.
in an industry where there's high turnover. We have a lot of long-term employees.
Yeah.
That's
That
really cool
says
to have.
a lot
It does.
about your guys' culture
sure.
and the business and the family and like what it means, stuff that's behind the scenes in the sign
Sure.
in the stores
Oh,
and
yeah.
the locations.
Yeah.
There's clearly something really special going on there if you
Yeah.
got folks like that want to stick it out that long.
Yeah. I'd like to say all of our employees are like that, but a
Well,
good portion
when
are.
when you have that many locations or your business is as large it is
Yeah.
as it is, it
our
happens.
core
But
group has been with us for a long
Right.
time, and it really means a lot. And a lot of them have been with us since they graduated high school. You know,
Yeah.
so that's been their working career as at Big Rays. which is
Way
neat.
cool.
Yeah.
I know some of the ladies at Army Navy have been there for a long, long,
Oh, yeah.
long time.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many total employees? All the stores.
90-ish,
95.
90-ish?
87
Wow.
to 92, depending on the week.
That's a lot.
It was 95 a couple days ago.
Yeah.
You're almost to 100 people in the Big Rays organization itself.
Yes.
Wow, that's a
A
lot.
lot.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think people recognize
to
how.
over.
We're not big, but we're not small either. But the fact that we have 5 different locations, it's not like we have one big central hub.
A lot of
Right.
moving pieces.
It's a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying, I think we talked about this. You guys are kind of in that middle space, like between boutique and big box store, where you still have that like local feel, but yet you have everything that you need.
Yeah, that's really been our niche. Is you know,
Yeah.
there's the specialty stores like AMH, obviously Barney's, and they do a wonderful job for a very particular customer. And our
Yeah.
customer is really anyone who lives or is coming to Alaska, man, woman, child, who wants to experience Alaska, not just one industry of Alaska.
Yeah. Well, there's the
It's our
bout-
strength.
Well, yeah, there's the boutique angle, which is I feel like is maybe more of an AME Barney's
Yeah.
angle,
Yeah.
or it's pigeonholed is not the right word. It's just like you're going to those stores for a very specific
Yeah.
thing, and then the
Or brand.
brand. Yeah, I was trying to be politically correct here, so I don't want to disrespect what the stores offer, but
Sure.
I feel like. So I want to say this. I'm going to give you a quick backstory on my Army Navy Big Rays. You know, number one, I love the children's selection. I've had kids for over a decade now, and it's hard to find stuff for kids.
Yes, it is.
And you can go to Big Rays and you can find stuff for kids, and that's enormously huge because there's a lot of long winter months here. I went to Army Navy and I got a lot of my starter kit stuff on my first moose hunt from Army Navy. I got my first Danner pronghorns. I remember the dude that sold me my first pair was going on his first sheep hunt with a backpack, an Alps mountaineering pack frame that you guys had, like, I think just got in or maybe had it for a season. And so he had used it and he's like, this works really good. And so I was balling on a budget, man.
Sure.
I didn't have, $700 for
Sure.
boots. And, I didn't have a ton of money for like Havilon knives and all that stuff back then. So I got my pronghorns and I got my hatchet and I picked out a few things. And my takeaway was like, you can get the good quality. I say entry level. It wasn't really entry level. All that stuff is as good as it gets, but it basically got me into the, like, I can afford to get out and do this adventure. And this place provided all the stuff I needed at the right price point that I could afford.
Sure.
And so, and then, like I said, then you fast forward to like the Amy's and the Barney's, and that's where if you want the $700 Sitka, which actually, coincidentally, you guys sell Sitka now, but back then it wasn't the spot where you could find that stuff.
Yeah.
But
Well, they didn't even really have a lot of that.
there wasn't a
stuff
lot of
back
stores
then.
that sold it.
A lot of
anyway.
these big new Kafaro, Stone Glacier, QU, all these companies
Recent
now, they're
developments.
all new. They're all within the last decade.
Yeah.
You know?
But you get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, the Carhhart, the Danner, the stuff that was like, this shit will get me out there and get
Sure.
the job done.
Yeah.
I loved that vibe
Yeah.
about the store. And Max gave me that too in Kodiak. You know, I was like, you can get some really nice stuff, or you can get some like blue collar balling on a budget stuff.
There's a lot of people that don't hunt in the Sitka and don't,
No.
they got the pronghorns or extra tufts and Carhartts. I mean,
and Helly Hansen's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where
basic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's actually the majority of the casual hunter,
No question.
outdoorsman,
Absolutely.
who recognizes that he's only going to make it out 2 or 3 times a year, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And he's not going to go and break the bank or rack up 2 years worth of credit card payments on gear.
Right.
When he can just go buy a few pieces here and there at Army Navy.
You're not going
and
to put
make-
your Sitka on because it's raining. You're going to wear your Sitka when you're going hunting and it's raining.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I just thought that niche market of what it offered was so unique.
Yeah.
Because you are expanded past that boutique-y kind of like one kind of maybe person or I'm not saying it right, but that
We really try to appeal, I don't want to say to the masses, but we really try to appeal to Alaskans and people experiencing Alaska. And whether that's, we have Canada Goose. Canada Goose jacket's $2,000. All the way down to, some entry-level Columbia. And that's really part of our business model is we don't want to exclude anyone from a price point. And so, we work with our buying team to ensure that there's always a good, better, best option that we have at the stores. And, we're really proud of that. That's not everyone is able to come in and buy that $700 dew point jacket.
Well,
from Sitka.
you guys have a little big box store vibe. So does that make sense?
We try to tread on that lightly. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you have all the options, but it's local.
Yeah.
But then you have stuff that you go to a big box store and you can't find because it's like all sold out.
Sure.
But you can go get your fuel cans and your MSR stove and some steaks and I don't mean meat steaks. I mean like
tent steaks.
Tent
We
steaks.
get meat steaks too, but yes, they have that water.
That's right. You can buy a grill to put over the fire at Big Ray's. I guess it gives you everything you need, and some because it has the unique branding with the kids stuff, and then you got like a huge Carhhart selection, and and then you got the slope gear. Then you got the stuff that you can get fire
resistant clothing.
for existing clothing and good boots and heavy duty winter gear, which a lot of the other stores don't offer that.
It's true.
So
that's
you
the
guys
thing.
are in a really cool spot.
Yeah, it's
really
it's fun for us. But that's the thing is, you go to REI and they have great stuff, but not everything is made for 40 below. Or Cabela's. I love going there, and they have their snake boots out. Here in Anchorage, and so it's we're really proud of the fact that we are all Alaskans. We all live here. It's really important to us. We all enjoy the outdoors. We're all fishing and hunting and hiking, and so our buying team is very tuned in to Alaska and what it takes to survive here.
It sounds and it feels like there is a lot of homework that happens before you guys decide to go with a certain brand. Because you go in there and you know that certain brand is going to work. And now I noticed you guys expand into other stuff. Now you can get beads and flies and line and weights and guns and all kind of stuff now at the Midtown store.
Well, and that's been really a expansion of ours and the Midtown Anchorage store, we doubled our space. So we were in there, but we shared it with like a Meineke, and it looked like a Carhhart store, and it was just not great.
Definitely felt like the slope spot.
It did, and that's what it was.
Yeah, good call.
That's what it was. And so we made the commitment. We took over the building, and we wanted to make it a destination to go to, and we wanted to make it an environment that you wanted to go to. And it was really important for us, too. I'm going to be honest. Women are the wife. Women like shopping there. Men will follow, and so we wanted to make it a space that was really nice to come into, and we also wanted to have our stores kind of mirror the assortments. We're so fine-tuned that the fly assortment we have in Kodiak is different than Fairbanks, it's different than Anchorage. But if you walk into a Big Rays, you're going to see fly shops, guns, Carhhart,
camping gear,
work boots.
Yeah.
And so it's
The
going to
full
be
assortment.
it's a full assortment,
pet
slightly
stuff.
different.
Which
Pet
is
stuff.
really cool.
Carhartt. What do you guys have in life jackets for dogs?
Like the
I mean,
The
you guys are
insulated.
cold.
No,
The
I
coat-
got a
the
new
coats.
puppy and I had to buy her the next one up because I
Yes.
went and bought the Carhhart
Yeah.
one. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, she's got more compliments than I got with that stupid
that.
yellow jacket.
I love that. I love that. Just ask us. We'll have to embroider it for you because we do all the embroidery in house.
Oh,
we can make you a
man.
special.
Okay,
special.
okay.
Oh, my
If there's some
name on
moose
there.
burger coming our way, we
Yeah.
can make
I
something.
can make that
happen.
happen.
Yeah, can we just
I
put
can make
sit
that
on
happen.
there?
There we go. See if it works.
Don't jump.
So, yeah.
Stay down.
Good luck. That's their middle name.
Well,
that's funny.
You guys did such a great job with that store because I hadn't been in a Big Rays, Army, Navy in a while before we came and met you guys for the first time, and you, all of us and Chad, and walking through the store, I was blown away. I'm like, holy crap! I didn't realize Big Rays had all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I immediately was like, man, this kind of reminds me of the Kodiak store because it had all of everything. And then it all came together for me. I'm like, oh man, this totally makes sense. You guys really like collaborated to make these like perfect, balanced stores in terms of the merchandise and supplies. And it clearly shows a lot of thought has gone into what the consumers in the areas that you guys have your stores need. Right?
Absolutely.
And in the markets and like I always praise the kid thing.
Yeah.
Big time because it's
Kids
hard.
is huge. It's a huge business for us, and it's so interesting to me that so few places do it because to me it's guaranteed business year after year because kids are always growing.
I always thought
So-
is there a scare that you're not going to make your margin and you're gonna buy a bunch of product you can't
Or
sell?
it's just an
Is that-
afterthought to some people, which I don't get. But that was something my dad really invested heavily in Fairbanks. People always, Big Rays in Fairbanks was always where you go to get your winter gear. In Anchorage, it was always just a workwear store for the most part.
Yeah, very true.
But 25 years ago, my dad developed a outdoor kids line called Activate, which you'll see it in our stores, and that's our private label that we design ourselves, and we make it specifically for Alaska kids. So it's the warmest winter wear. In Fairbanks, you have required recess to 20 below, so a lot of clothing's made to that.
Right.
But so we make this clothing. We've been doing it for 25 years, like I said, and it's our biggest kids vendor. It's one of our biggest vendors that we sell in the company.
Yeah.
And it's so rewarding to us where parents come in and they say, oh, I bought my kids this. We've used it for all these generations. And then their kids come in and they buy it. And,
Yeah.
Or when people ask for our brand at our competitors, that really makes us excited.
You don't carry that? Oh, I guess I'll go to Big Rays then.
You know where they have that?
Yeah, exactly. But no, that Activate line,
It's only one place.
it's something else. And Kara, Jesse's wife, designs it now, and she does an incredible job.
Oh, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, look
Truly
at the colors. I
designed?
mean, we got it up on the TV there. Some of the stuff on your guys' website.
If you go up, see that one that looks
This
weird?
one?
Yes. So that's a technology that it looks just like a regular like paint spotted jacket.
Oh, it's reflective.
But when you hit it with a light, the entire thing is
Oh, I've seen
reflective.
people on bikes riding that
Yes,
stuff.
but the whole thing. So when you're at the bus stop and it's
Yes.
dark. So
So you can spot your kid, or a car can spot that.
100%.
Oh, that's
so it's
cool.
all reflective, which is really neat.
Yeah, and I'm feeling like the
I need the dog one of
majority
that.
of the kids wearing those are in Fairbanks, rocking some shit like that at the bus stop.
They sure are. They sure are.
I peel this off down, and I got my joggers and my
Yeah.
Jordans on.
100%.
This is for the walk to the bus stop.
Yep.
That's a really cool piece. Beautiful.
It's been really neat, and it's been fun in Anchorage just to see our women's and kids business has really drastically grown, and
That's
that's
great, man.
really been encouraging to see. But
Well, there's one thing that is undeniable about an outdoor experience. And if you can stay warm and dry, it'll typically make it fun, even if it's crappy.
Yep.
And when you take children and women out, typically
Yes.
a child's going to go out for their first time or limited amount of times, or maybe a woman has been able to get out a few times and form an opinion on whether they like the outdoors or not. But if you can keep everybody dry and warm
Yes.
on a consistent basis, they'll learn that they can still have fun even when it's
Absolutely.
crappy. And if you have the right gear, all of a sudden it doesn't become so bad.
Absolutely.
And so if you can keep everybody comfortable,
Yeah.
Everyone's
they're going to
life
have
is better.
fun and they want to
That's
go
the
back
key.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
all the
Regardless
options
of
are
what
there.
you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because you can always make it fun in a way.
Right.
Just keep me dry and warm.
How's the man? I've seen Carhhart just like explode with like popularity. I mean, it's always been popular with hardworking
With Alaskans, it's always
Alaskans,
yeah.
but now in the last like 2 years, it's like
That was like 16-year-old girls in Portland love it. I know.
totally.
Oh, man.
Like the hat just
Yeah.
like was insane
Yeah.
that it just blew up like that.
A18. I know. Yeah, the brand's just completely taken off. I mean, for us, in 2001, Big Ray sold the most Carhartts per capita in the entire world. So we've been selling some Carhartts for a few years.
I bet.
But,
Where else? Who else sells more Carhartt? Who else wears more Carhartt?
The Alaskans,
Alaska.
maybe Montana, Wyoming, like Cowboys type.
Yeah, but
stuff?
they're they're not. I mean, Alaskans are using the Carhartt.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
we use the Carhartt.
yeah.
But yeah, so Carhartt is a huge brand for us. They're an incredible partner to us. So we, I think we've been selling them since the 60s, maybe.
I still have my OG original from high school, man.
Don't get rid
Is that
of
right?
it.
Oh man, it's like grease stains. Just crawl under my truck, and replace the U joint because
Yeah.
it blew out because my 35s are too big for it.
Don't get rid of it. That thing
Oh
is a
man,
gem.
the zipper's jacked up.
Sure.
So I have to wear it like open. Not to mention it's a little tight these days.
Things may have changed. or
It's a
something.
little tight these days. But I can't. It's in the shed.
Yeah.
That's
Can't
funny
get-
you
It's
say
not allowed
that.
in the house. It's not allowed.
It's like it doesn't even have a spot on the hanger, but
That's
I
funny.
You have it.
refuse to get rid of it.
Don't get
I
rid of
will
it.
never, ever get rid of it.
Yeah.
And I have an old pair of Carhartt pants from high school.
Do
that-
those fit?
They're a 30-inch inseam. Do you think they fit? Or waist? Do you think they fit? No.
Maybe
Just
one
because
day.
they do not fit. But I kept them for just because, like, they. It's
sentimental
just
value.
yeah. I wore them every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I have the one piece.
Oh, you
Carhartt.
do?
Oh hell
The
yeah!
one.
In the brown?
Yes.
Yes. They don't make
I
that
never
anymore.
wear it, but it's just there because I'm like, one day,
You're
Does it
going to need
have
it.
a red
gonna need this.
interior or a black interior?
black.
Yeah.
Is there any chance that Big Rays could get with Carhartt and compete heavily with that onesie snow machine suit game? She got like the Toby
What
gear.
do you mean? That is the original one piece.
I know, but it needs to come back
Oh, the comeback?
because it was the original one piece bunny boot with the snow
you
machine
thinking-
helmet with no
Yeah,
glass.
with the shield.
Are you thinking the refrigerator coverall or like the Carhartt coverall?
It's gonna be the thicker
The
model.
Carhartt one piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still have a Carhartt one piece, the Yukon Extremes, but it's like, it is so stiff. When
Oh,
you
yeah.
Oh, I
wear it.
know.
It
It's probably hard to snow machine in that.
It takes a while to break it in.
I guess
but
what I'm saying is like let's get with Carhartt and
I
make
like
some
that.
like active, kind of more articulated stitching and what do you call it?
Waist expansion.
I like
gusseted
it. Yeah.
crotches and such.
We'll send
for-
this to them. Yeah, we're gonna send it to their product team.
Real quick for fun, just Google like the one. Obviously, Activate. You got the one piece stuff,
Yeah.
but there's that one piece thing in the snow machine world
Mm-hmm.
is huge now. Like a guy just wants to get in his enclosed trailer.
Well, it's coming back for skiing
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah, yes, the one
Yeah, it
piece,
is.
and I'm like Carhartt, like that OG brown
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
with the white bunny boots and the snow machine helmet with with the glass, but it's off, and so
Yeah.
you just put goggles in
Oh
there,
yeah.
and the guy comes riding in like a '96 Ultra Triple.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, boys?
You still see those boys riding that
Oh
out
yeah,
there.
just carving in the overflow on Big Lake. I'm
Yeah.
like,
That's the Dave Tidings right there.
love those guys, man.
Better watch out. Maybe next year we might have that.
I'm telling you,
In the brown though, it has to be brown.
Gotta be
it has to
brown.
be the traditional
Okay.
brown. No, absolutely.
Noted.
I feel like it would blow up.
It probably
It
would.
would blow up. So Carhartt was the #1 seller in the world.
Big Rays was the number one. We sold
Carhartt
the-
in Big Rays.
We sold the most Carhartts per capita in the entire world.
Insane.
Yeah. I mean, but people don't.
our market's so small.
Our
I mean,
market's-
per capita, right?
Our market's small, but we do a great deal of business up on the North Slope. So our B2B
Yeah.
business that not everyone sees is a significant part of our company, and sell a lot of Carhartts through
If you
that.
don't mind me asking, like, what is that like on a percentage? Is that
You know, it depends. It's about 25 to 30%.
All right.
I mean, to be honest, we're really seeing,
And it fluctuates big time, doesn't it?
it definitely
Price of oil.
fluctuates, but
Yeah.
as the price of oil goes up, our
There
business
you
goes
go.
way
Yeah,
up.
was gonna say
yeah.
that.
So business is booming
You guys
right
watch
now.
those stocks, don't you?
Sure do. We sure do.
Like, oh, Jesse, this is not looking good.
We always say that though when we go to the shows and stuff. Like if whatever the price of oil is, we'll have a nice dinner or a nice lunch. Or if it's really bad, we're gonna go to the community lunch.
Right.
Gotcha.
Whatever's provided at the
$2
trade show.
hot
Yeah.
dog meal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get some
So-
fish
Good
sticks.
way.
I'll take
Exactly.
those. I'll take a corn
All
dog.
dependent. On the
We're going
price
to
of
share
oil.
them.
You want a bite of my corn dog?
Exactly. You only get one bite. Exactly.
Let's take another quick break,
Yeah.
and then I want to get into some of the other brands that you guys are creating and just came out with.
Big Ray's, the Alaskan outfitter, committed to outfitting Alaskans across the state since 1947. Whether you're a recreator, parent, guide, or corporate buyer, Big Ray's has the gear you need tailored for Alaska's harsh conditions. At Big Ray's, you'll find brands like Carhhart, Grundens, Darn Tough, FXD, Okiwear, and more. Big Ray's is your one-stop shop for both outdoor gear and rugged work attire. Check out their new exclusive line of durable but affordable waders, inspired by and named after the majestic Arolik River in remote western Alaska. The Arolik Wader was designed by Alaskans and proven for the diverse waters of the last frontier. Visit Big Ray's at any of their 5 locations statewide, 2 in Anchorage, 2 in Fairbanks, 1 in Kodiak, or check them out online at bigrays.com.
Tailored Restoration, helping Alaskans turn disasters into new beginnings since 1972. Their 24-hour services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, and repairs. Tailored built its reputation with years of committed and reliable service to the community with innovative restoration and home remodeling. When you have an unexpected home issue at the most improbable time, Tailored has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you anytime, day or night. Tailored Restoration has locations to serve you in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Give them a call at 907-344-1239 or make an appointment today at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlander products. If you want to customize your vehicle, talk to the team at Total Truck, where you'll find their expertise along with top brands such as ARE, RSI Smart Caps, Goose Gear, iCamper, Frontrunner, Rigid Lights, Rhino Lining bed liners, and everything you need to outfit your truck or SUV. Want to turn your truck into a sleeping option? They have rooftop tents, custom camping equipment, electronics, and solar energy packages to keep you powered up deep in the backcountry. Stop by their store location on Dowling between the new and old Seward Highway, or check them out at TotalTruckAK.com.
I didn't bring boots to
to put
wear-
over the waders?
Yeah, so I mean, the day I walked across the river, I just got wet, and
Yeah.
I was okay with it because it wasn't hot.
Sure.
But in hindsight, after I did the hunt, I'm like, man, I would have just much rather wore those
Yeah.
with some mountain boots, and then I could have just rocked those all day, and I would never had to worry about
Yeah.
going back and forth or if it decided to rain. So that was the one thing I'm like, oh man, these would have been freaking perfect, because
Sure.
there was like 1 or 2 hot days, but the rest of the days were pretty chilly up on the North Slope.
Oh yeah, I believe
You know, it's
it.
not warm. Even in the middle of August, it wasn't
sure.
that warm. And I was kicking myself in the ass because I was like, God damn it. Because the mountain boots I had, they wouldn't fit
On top of
with
it.
the
right.
with the booty
Yeah.
neoprene.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Like the
Neoprene,
neoprene
yeah.
booty. I have some other boots that were like are a little bit oversized. They're perfect for it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That's one thing I haven't got in the game. I got like really good wader boots.
You gotta
Oh, they're
get
so good
wader
now.
boots. It makes
Yeah,
it for sure.
They're
and that's
so
what all
good
these guys. These guys got like basically like Jordans for wader boots. The Sims or whatever.
Yeah.
Some of those boots that they have,
Yeah.
but
It makes a big difference.
I
And there's
still
really good.
haven't like. I need to get some good wader boots.
It's not. I mean, the price points used to be really high, but now you can get a good pair of Sims for like $179
Yeah.
for the wading
Oh,
boots,
okay.
or
And
maybe
they're
even less
like
than
light,
that.
and they don't hold the
Yes.
water anymore.
Yeah.
So you're not just like.
That's a problem with a mountaineering
around.
boot. You throw a
Frankenstein
mountaineering
boots.
boot. Oh
It's not made for
man,
that, yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wear yourself
Clomping
out,
around.
clomping around quick
Yeah.
in those. But I did. That was the one thing I was like, God damn it, man! These things would have been perfect for that.
Sure.
Well, and then after we crossed, it was another one or two opportunities where we could have crossed, and then it was like, well, it's kind of deep, and I'm like, man, if I just
have
my waders, I could go over my waist and not worry about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I learned my lesson. And I brought them, and I was supposed to grab that extra pair of boots, and it was just like one of the laundry list of things that I forgot.
Oh, I get it.
Laundry list of the gear, but I forgot that one thing because
Sure.
I didn't think I was going to use it that much. But
Yeah, I personally feel like the
continued.
Karluk ones are really good early season, late season.
Sure.
That summer one, a lot of times I'm just wearing like shorts with the gaiters or the socks and the boots. Like if
Sure.
you're floating the Kenai, it's just too
Yeah.
hot for some waders.
Right.
Okay.
Those are really, really, really. I love it, and that T-zip is just amazing.
Nice. Yeah.
What was the thought process behind, like, let's go ahead and get into this game? Obviously, we talked about Activate, and then now with the Arolik Wader line. There's Karluk, and what's the other?
Well, the brand is Arolik.
Yeah.
And then there's three wader styles: a women's, which is the Kodiak, and then the zip wader, which is the Karluk, and then more of our entry level, just more basic version, which is the Naknek.
And then the kids one's coming.
Well, I will say, I mean, the women's extra small. I wear the women's small, so you can get children into the extra small. For
Well, you
sure.
guys have the Oki stuff, so that's
We do.
kind of covering
So it kinda
the
covers
kids
that.
running around
Yeah.
on the beach and in the mud and clam digging and all that stuff.
And those are
those
nice
are the
because
best.
they have the
Those are the best.
boots on them too, so it's
Yeah.
just as easy. But I don't know. I mean, we've been talking about it we have the fly rods.
Yeah, we started doing fly rods and reels and lines, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, and it's just been a great success. So we're just growing it every year, and it's really cool for a guy to walk in or a girl to walk in and grab one of our rods in a tube and walk right by the big guys. It's always cool to see that.
yeah, sure.
And so we started talking
Cool
about
that you
waders.
give them both options.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
do that
Now
on
they go,
purpose.
you have to come and buy our
Right.
stuff. It's like,
Right.
no, we got the good.
Sure.
Absolutely.
We have this other,
Right.
proven top brand or whatever, but hey.
Yeah, it's
You know?
and our rods and our rods, the combos and the rods themselves come with something that nobody else does, which is an extra tip.
Yeah.
So what do you break most? Your
Tip.
tip
It
comes
or your
with-
flat
yeah.
fly
It comes
rod?
with an extra tip.
My
Yeah.
dad just broke his rod.
Oh.
So now, and they're not doing the stupid warranty.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
bought the rod for him because they're like, oh, lifetime warranty. And then
Yep.
here we are. I
They're
don't know,
changing
I
it.
know.
12 years later.
Yep.
I'm like, what do you mean you don't offer it anymore?
Nope.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why I
Oh,
bought
rod manufacturers starting to.
They're pulling back.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I can appreciate that because this whole lifetime guarantee thing is hard to get behind when you're selling a $150 stick. It's like how many warranties are you going to cycle through it, you know?
Understood.
But
yeah.
so anyway, ours comes with an extra tip, and
Yeah.
my wife and I were out chasing pinks this summer. We were able to try that warranty out. She broke it. I don't know what she was doing, but she broke the tip, and we walked back to the truck and put the new tip on, and there we went.
You're
This
back
is
on the
just-
water.
Yeah.
That would have ended anybody's day.
Yeah.
You'd have had to go home and go send it back.
Never have even seen a rod sold with an extra tip.
It's
ever.
it's vital. On my trip,
That
it
is so
seems
cool, man.
every year we have like one terrible day. This year it was 4 rods we broke in the span of 1 hour. The year
all in one
before-
tree.
2 trees.
Oh,
this
there
time.
you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweeper or something?
Sweepers.
Yeah.
Sweep because you're going down a river, and then it's a sweeper, or you're going down the river. You can't stop, and you're caught on something.
Yeah.
So the extra tip definitely helped out. I
Does
have
help.
my favorite sage rod I've broken twice, and it's $250 every time to replace, and that's $1,000 rod. So that rod is now up to like $2,000
Right.
that it's costing.
Right.
But,
Right. Okay.
but yeah, so
the
the
extra tip comes in, man.
huge,
Yeah.
and it's a great price point. How much are our
The
rods?
the
$179?
combos are $189 for rod reel case
Yeah,
line strung
Oh, okay.
just out of water.
yeah.
All right.
Oh, well, I mean, it's just tie a swivel and a
Go.
whatever
That's it.
on.
Yep.
Yeah,
Done.
Wow. That's a one-shot deal.
Yep.
yeah.
Is it
you
rod
can
and reel and fly?
Just rod reel line.
Rod
Yeah.
reel. Okay.
Tip it, leader. All
So we have the
strung
combos, and then we have just the fly rods, and then the reels themselves. And the Euganics are really nice. They
Yep.
cast super well.
And their weights vary from.
5 to
five and 8 on the combos and 5 to 9 on the
Yeah.
on the organic rods. Just the rods themselves.
Oh,
which
okay.
Is one of my favorite rods to fish.
it's
Sweet. I mean, honestly, it's
Truly.
I was just putting up gear the other day, and all the rods that I have strung are Uganic rods, and
Nice.
the other rods are sitting there as backups, waiting for things to happen.
Sure. Sure. Still a good rod, but
And they all have their place in the world.
yeah,
But
definitely. And what was the inspiration? Like where did that start? How did that even, where did like product development and designing a rod, like who built the rod? Like how does that work?
where did the inspiration come from? It came from a lot of different factors. One was we really wanted to own our own brands. We wanted to be in control of that.
Sure.
And we can control the price, we can control the value, we can control the performance. When
The
we're buying
design.
it from a vendor, we buy what they've made decisions on. And I haven't always agreed with how rods are built. You know, our rods have an oversized guides all the way up to the tip because we fish big flies in Alaska. You're slinging big lines.
Fast water.
Fast water. The 5 weights come with a fighting butt. Nobody does that. And there's not a lot of, there's a few people that don't appreciate that, and that's the personal preference. But when you're fighting small salmon or large rainbows on a 5, you want a fighting butt.
Yeah.
So that sort of thing started to drive us down that path. And we started looking for partners out there, and we found a few, and we worked through a couple, and now we're working with somebody now that is building quality products, and we can steer the direction and make the rod exactly what we want to. And
That's great.
you know, we product test, primarily me, but I farm the stuff out. I beat the crap out of these things before I put our name on
them
it.
to the test.
Yeah, I mean, I did things with these rods we shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
So that I can say that
Outside
we can
of
do
slamming it in the door. I mean,
yeah. You know, trying
that'll
to
usually take a tip off every time.
Generally speaking, yep. So that's, you know, the value and the durability and the performance were important, and that's not something you can get for under $500.
Yeah.
Well, and the
for sure.
landscape of retail is changing so dramatically. So many vendors go direct to consumer now.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
everyone always asks, who's your biggest competitor? Is it Cabela's? Is it Amazon? I go, I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's Carhhart.com half the time. And so people don't always realize that. But while our greatest partners are our vendors, they're also our greatest competitors. And so we've really made a conscious effort to expand our private labels. So we do the Activate. We do Kavik, which is our winter wear brand for men and women. That's a big part of our business. And then we did the fly rods. And then just the next step was really to go into waders, to kind of start taking each of our departments and having our private label that we can control. And like you mentioned, I mean, it's been encouraging too. We still sell the top brands, and their business has grown as well. So it's not like we're just eliminating them, but it just gives our customers a bit more of an option and gives us a little bit more control, which is really important. And now, I mean, our private label brands are our second biggest brand in our store behind Carhhart. So it's a big deal. It's a big part of our business.
Wow.
And you don't see that too much.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
Let me
but-
tell you, it is a lot. I mean,
What do we say from like
Endless hours
idea to final? Like, let's just choose the waiters.
Yeah.
Like initial, like, hey, we're gonna jump
we're
into
going to
this.
talk about it over coffee. Now it's
to
a waiter.
finally you have one in the box.
that was probably 3 years we've been talking to Drake for.
three or
Three or four. And that was different because that was brand new. So like our Activate and Kavik, we've had the same supplier for a long time.
Yeah.
He's
And
based
it
out
was
of
a
Montreal.
proven commodity in the store.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so this was brand new, and I'd say we started the relationship 3 or 4 years ago.
Yep.
And then but the thing is, it's not just design, it's the budget that goes behind it, it's the investment in inventory, it's the investment in marketing and branding, you know,
Which all
of
comes
that.
out of pocket before you sell stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
So
Before
it's a
the
lot of
first
upfront
unit
cost.
gets sold.
Oh yeah, it's like whoa, we got a lot in the basket here. This shit needs to sell, man.
Jesse, what were we thinking? Why did we bring in 900 waiters?
I
Who are
hope
we?
the hell they buy these things,
900.
man.
You look at how
Oh
many
my
Connexes,
goodness.
you're like,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, where are we going to
That's a
put
lot
that?
of
We had
waiters.
900
Did we
waiters
triple
with
check
it.
the spelling on that?
That's right.
Is there an extra zero?
Oh, there was a few follies along the way. Nothing on our
definitely
side and nothing critical, but there was little things that just
Yeah.
makes you crazy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
How's your guys' trivia game?
What kind of trivia?
Well, it's going to be right up your alley.
Excellent.
Alaska Wild Project trivia.
Yes, we do trivia every week. This is provided
Almost
by
every
Jack,
week, yeah.
who can come in, and there's only 4 mics, so he decided to just provide the trivia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love this.
Are you ready?
Now, you guys might know some of these.
Did your hair just stand up on the back of your neck? Mine did.
If I had any, I probably would.
We try to gear the questions towards topics you guys will know, and it's mostly so that everyone can make fun of myself and Brandon with our dumb answers. So we like to let Brandon start first with some of these questions, and then we'll see if you guys really know your business here.
All right.
The first manufactured waders were made in what year and by who?
I'm going to lean on you for this one, Jesse.
Wow.
The first manufactured waders were made in what year?
I'm gonna let it rip first.
Go ahead.
Okay, do we all get a guess?
Yes.
I mean, I can only come up with a guess.
I've got 1872.
I was thinking later than that, but
And it is Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar.
The year I'm really actually guessed, but the name, how am I gonna fucking know? Whatever.
Okay. All right.
I was thinking a little bit later because I was thinking about a river runs through it and when that was based.
That's in Montana, right?
But they didn't wear waders in it, did they? I don't know.
No, they
I'm
had
gonna
like
say,
jeans on.
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna
Carhhart.
say 1909 and Orvis.
Oh, good guess.
Oh, that's really good,
guess.
man.
I was thinking it was the late 1800s. I was thinking 1894.
Okay.
Yeah, when they
Good
started
guess.
getting fancy
Who
with the
was
fishing.
it? And who was it? That's a good question. She said Orvis, so I can't pick that one.
You can. It's probably right.
Hodgman.
Oh,
Bam. Oh, God, you guys are awesome.
is that it?
Kendrick Lamar.
The first
go.
manufactured waders were made in 1838
Wow.
by a company called Hodgman.
Wow.
Oh, good
All
job,
right.
Jesse.
Nice.
All right.
So
There you
can we
go.
I didn't think there
share?
was
You
that
get some smoked salmon.
All right.
Okay.
1834.
Wow.
1838.
Wow.
1838.
I didn't know Hodgman's has been around that long. I had
didn't
no
either.
idea.
That's a long time.
Would that be probably in Europe, where it kind of like, because didn't fly fishing kind of originate
That's a good
Yeah.
question.
really like
Yeah.
like Scotland and
A lot of fly
England
fishing
and
did, yeah.
so I'm-
Spay World and all that.
Yeah.
Bay World. Yeah, I'm thinking if you were standing around a river,
Hardy was a big
freezing
one.
your
That would have
ass
been my
off.
second guess. Is Hardy was the
Yeah.
builder. But
Question number 2. What are waders called that do not have the boots attached?
What are waders called that do not have the boot attached? Man, I'm trying to think of like a fun pun on assless chaps, but I can't.
Arnold, never mind.
Heelless something? I don't know, man. Waders without booties. Is that a thing?
Without the boots attached.
Without the boots attached.
You know, some have the actual boot attached.
Oh,
I'm gonna call it a chap. Jesse, what's the matter, dude? You can't keep a straight face. Well, because a chap is like a. I mean,
No, that's
it
you're
doesn't
on the
have-
right
it doesn't-
track.
doesn't
That's
have-
good.
It
That's
doesn't
good.
have booties.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the
You're
question
going
again? I'm sorry.
You're going
man.
full Yellowstone. That's fine.
Yeah, it's got
What are waders called that don't have the boots attached?
Oh man, toeless chaps. I don't know. Like,
Okay. There you go.
what do you
Experts?
Booty waders.
Booty waders.
Sure.
That's
Hell
something
yeah.
else. Don't Google it.
Don't Google it. You got boot foot waders. Yeah, don't Google that. Kids don't Google
was that your
that.
favorite website, Jesse?
Yeah.
What do you got going on over
That's
there, bro?
that's an OnlyFans account.
Well, now they don't call them. They're waders, and there's waders, and there's boot foot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
They
there's,
smell like
yeah.
neoprene booties,
Yeah.
like on the wader.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
they're
with your little-
stocking foot
Stocking
waders.
foot.
Got it.
Is what
Is that
they're
what you-
called.
is that
That's
what you
it.
wear?
Stocking foot waders.
Oh, okay.
So it has the
It has the
neoprene
booty.
on the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, you forgot to bring the boots to go.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're differentiating the like chest wader with the rubber boot.
Yeah, boot
Attached,
like what
yeah.
kids
Okay,
like the
I
kids
thought
want
it was
to
like waders without the neoprene booty. I'm like, fuck, dude, what is that?
I was gonna say rain pants.
That's why I was like,
Carhhart.
I see why you're going down that path.
I was like, man, sorry for being dumb and so confused. That's how I roll with the trivia. So
All right, one last question.
pretty famous for that.
When did the first Gore-Tex waders come out?
Gore-Tex waders.
Is that your guys' material? or use something else?
No, we use a proprietary
Okay.
waterproof material. I mean, to buy Gore-Tex is like, price will go up.
Yeah.
1964.
Good guess.
I don't think you're that far off. Because the founder's still alive.
That'd make him pretty old.
He's old, but he's alive.
Yeah, Gore's a big company. I don't think those waders.
They bought Sitka, right?
They did.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah,
company.
they did.
Yeah.
You said 1964? And then what was the question? What company?
No, when did the first Gore-Tex waders come out?
It's probably
Come out to the public or
40
go into
50s.
production?
Ooh,
Good
'cause
question.
It was military first,
Because
right?
the military is
Yeah.
generally playing with this stuff long before we ever get a chance.
Probably general public.
General public, I'd say 1987.
Okay.
I was going to say like 80. I'll go 80. I'll split the middle.
Okay. 1993.
Oh.
Oh, shit.
All right.
Yeah, they probably started with the
was
rain
it?
gear and all that stuff before
was
they
it?
decided. I didn't get the
Sims?
answer on that.
Okay, because you would get maybe like
Had to be
a
Sims.
Gore-Tex rain jacket or pants through like a surplus. Mm-hmm. Well, real quick on that. Are we? That's it.
I like that
Okay.
music. It
I know
just
that
kinda
fun.
keeps
It's
your heart rate
intense.
up a little bit.
Reminds
Your
me of
focus is
X-Files.
just right there.
X Files. That's what we get.
Yes, yes. X Files and Assless Chaps. And so it's all
That
about.
is not a beat from the album. Just
Yeah, we found
to
that one
clarify.
on Google.com. The Army Navy surplus on Spinard, was that affiliated with the OG Army Navy?
that's not around anymore.
Or was that an Army Navy? There was
That
one
was
over
just
by
like
Spinard
Army
Builder
surplus.
Supply. It
It's not there no more, but it was just
I'm gonna
called Army
say-
surplus.
I'm going to say no because you guys, yeah.
I
No,
know.
we had a place on Benson. We had a place.
Yeah, but the Benson
down-
was Big Rays.
It was Big Rays, yeah.
Okay.
Downtown, mid airport.
Yeah, it must have been.
There was like a surplus shop in Spinard, Minnesota, Spinard, by SBS, right? But by
Yeah,
Spinard Builders.
it's not there no more. They do have another one that is on Boniface.
Was that
across
like
from-
legit
907
Army?
surplus.
That's what it's
Oh,
called.
okay.
Everyone still, I mean, people still call every day asking if we have surplus.
Yeah.
And so I've never been
Okay.
there, but I've referred a lot of people to 907 surplus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely still a market for it.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
just-
People have nostalgic military.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Or bunny boots.
Well,
just
it's
fine.
kind of, you
It's
know.
harder to get. That's the problem. I mean, it's
really
you used
hard
to be
to
able to
get.
go out to the base and just make an offer on a Connex or a container or whatever. And
Yeah.
Oh, is
There-
that how
there
that
was-
is that
that's
how
a-
that
Yeah,
worked?
they'd buy lots.
There was like an
Big
auction
time.
or something,
Big-
and
big
you
lot
would-
deals.
Did you even know it was in the Connexes always?
half the time. no.
Sometimes you did. Sometimes
Okay.
you didn't. Yeah. Sometimes it was just
Yep.
make an offer.
What was that show?
Make an offer.
Did you ever watch that show? Yeah.
The
It
auction.
was like the Connex auction show.
Oh yeah.
Or like where they would, you know, you didn't pay your bill and your
Yeah.
your storage or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like trying to
Storage
play
Wars?
those movies.
That's what it
Something
was.
like that. Yeah, I wondered if because like the Army Navy angle would give you the perception that it's
Yeah.
like surplus.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about the Gore-Tex in the 90s. I guess that's about right because before, I don't know, man. When my dad took me hunting in the early 90s, I mean, we went to Value Village and just got me like old Levi's and,
Sure.
and every once in a while you'd find some Carhartts that might fit.
Yeah.
And a shitty oversized
Yep.
Columbia rain jacket that was
Yeah.
like the DWR or whatever coating was like worn off. And
Yes.
Everyone always wore the
an
old
I think
military
my
coat.
first hunting coat was a Columbia Bugaboo jacket.
No
Oh,
way.
the Bugaboo.
Yeah.
The three-piece.
Yeah.
deal.
Oh yeah,
System
With the
jacket.
waist,
Yeah.
with the waist.
Yeah.
thing,
it was all
tighten.
tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fleece was the only thing that kept you warm in
That was
there.
the only
If it
thing,
got
yeah.
wet, you were screwed.
Throw it a wall. Yeah.
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 Bright red, I'm sure.
It was blue. It was
Oh, blue. Okay, I think it's blue, red, or green. I think
We
it
didn't
was
want to
your
be
option.
seen too much. Yeah.
Oh, right,
It was a
right.
hunting jacket.
Yeah.
That's true. That's very true.
This is the camel that they had.
It's
man.
impressive to watch that technology of hunting gear kind of evolve over the years. I was looking at
Yeah.
a picture back from probably the mid '70s of my dad in an elk camp, and everybody's rocking, those blue jean vests and
Oh,
red
yeah,
bandana,
denim,
Bruce
yeah.
Springsteen style stuff going on.
Oh, hell
and you
yeah.
look at all their gear and
With the
you're like,
white fluffy collar
Yes.
on the
Oh,
Levi
yeah.
jacket.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, man.
just the Sherpa line stuff. Yeah, it just was like, man, how did you stay dry?
It didn't.
Kind of want to bring back that old nostalgic. It needs to be made out of super nice shit, but it looks like it's from
Right.
the 70s still.
Gore-Tex denim.
Yeah, Gore-Tex, like it looks
Yeah,
like some
good idea.
blue,
There you go.
blue jeans and like a Carhartt vest, and you know,
They're making
The
waders
Sherpa
out
is
of that.
actually like fleece. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's.
Make
I mean,
them.
you look at some of those old photos
Yeah.
and like suspenders.
Yes.
You know, and it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
man, these guys were out backpacking in the backcountry doing the same shit that we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you got a big caribou rack or a sheep or a huge moose rack, and it's like they didn't have a Big
didn't.
Ray's and a Barney's
No.
and a place to go and buy
The
a
gear didn't exist.
$700 pair of rain gear.
Yep.
And sometimes
around.
that shit doesn't even keep you dry,
That
which is
true.
crazy when the weather's that bad. I mean,
Yeah.
and so to
you
think
have to
these
convince
guys,
me, yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and to think these guys were out in pancake tent weather
I know.
with shit that
Oh,
you
yeah.
wouldn't think. I mean,
It's amazing to
Blows
watch the
me away.
technology evolve. you know.
sure, and guys were still out doing it.
And they're doing it in wool and the
Yeah.
stuff that we stay away
Sure.
from. But
Oh yeah.
the weight of this stuff,
Heavy.
12-pound backpacks, and we're jumping up and down about 6 and 7 pounds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We've gotten weak.
Yes, we have.
We've
yes,
gotten
we have.
soft.
Grandpa would say that. He would say,
Oh
yeah, you
man,
gotta
for sure.
Any other outdoor avenues you guys are thinking about the future to enter? I did notice not a lot of ice fishing stuff at the store. I know that's really like taken off lately around South Central and maybe in Fairbanks. You guys have that? I know it's big up there. Skiing, snow machine gear. Or is it like, how much more can we do?
Well,
that's the. I mean, it's the
is
box
what we
isn't
fight
getting
about
any
every day.
bigger.
Yeah.
So what are
Sure,
you gonna
and the
do?
box is full.
Yeah,
the
we have
problem
to-
is if you bring something in,
Yeah.
you gotta have
Something's
something
gotta
else
go
go
away.
away.
Oh,
and
competing
so
for the space of something.
yeah, you're
that's
competing
there.
with space. You're competing with inventory dollars. So I feel like we've done pretty good with our assortment. Where we really see the opportunity for growth is in our private label, especially from a sporting goods standpoint. I don't know.
Maybe the ice fishing rod that you guys
There
do
you go.
with your
We
rod.
can use all the broken tips from the other
Yeah.
ones. to build
There you
them.
go. Just
Yeah.
build
There
it.
you go.
Oh
That's
my
a great
gosh.
idea.
I'm
Yeah.
serious. It's like blowing
Yeah.
up.
It
It's
is really blowing
It's-
up.
I think when
Yeah.
COVID hit and everyone had nothing to do,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's when me and my son got into it.
Feels
and
like
now-
it's getting bigger in the last
really
couple of
does.
years.
100%. And now
Call
you
that bad boy the Frankenstein.
yeah,
Not very Alaskan, but stitch
like
it up.
it.
Stitch
yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
stitch it up. There you go.
That's
Glue
a
them all
good
together.
idea.
Caught a 20-pound Laker on all tips.
It's all recycled Alaskan tips.
That's got to be a challenge when you get excited about a new product or something that you'd like to get in the store,
Yeah.
and then you have to try and figure out what's not selling,
Yeah.
or you have an overstock of. And you're like, I already put all this money into this thing, and now
It gets tough, and that's.
Yeah.
I mean, the buyers will always come to me because I oversee our buying team, and they go, I have this great new brand. I can't wait to bring it in. It's so exciting. I go, awesome. What are you going to get rid of? You can't have them both.
Right.
And then it gets tough
What they
because
quit making. Yeah.
yeah, you want to bring them both
right.
in, but we've really made a big effort over the last few years to bring in brands that we were never able to before. When we changed our name to Big Rays, that really opened up a lot more opportunity. There were brands like Patagonia that wouldn't sell to an Army Navy store, and then also
just a name change.
for that brand, yeah. But also it just allows them, because they used to think we were all 3 different stores. So now we have 5 stores, and our buying is much greater when
Yeah,
you
the
have all
buying
5 stores
power.
together.
'Cause you guys have like a larger market footprint,
Absolutely.
being one name.
One name,
Okay.
people recognize us. It's all under the same account, and so we've really been able to open most of the brands that we've wanted to bring in.
There's so many cool new ones. I mean, you mentioned earlier your
Fial.
Fial Raven.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's been a great one.
Sika,
I was
yeah.
just talking. We were just talking about the old school clothing people used to wear, but those Keb pants. I don't know that you see everyone wear the Hunters, the Fial
The
Raven
G1000.
pants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
G1000s.
yeah,
I
with
mean,
the-
those are
with
wax
the
cotton.
Wax pants. Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
those
they
are
have
awesome.
They are. I love my pants. I wear them all the time. But that's an old technology, but kind of merged with a new technology, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But that's been a fun brand to bring in, the Fial Raven, because it's definitely an upper echelon brand for us. But it's nice for people to come in and spread across some Carhhart, so they have that option, and then they
Sure.
have something
Yeah.
like Fial. But
Have you gone to their store in Seattle?
no, is it downtown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm in
I've
there
heard
trying
it.
all this stuff on. I tried on their $1,200 puffy. I was like, I could use this for ice fishing. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna put this back.
In reality,
Overkill.
Yeah, like wife won't be like. You got room on the hanger for that?
Yeah.
Don't ask what it costs.
No, it's nice stuff though.
I want to finish this off with talking about the Big Buck competition
Yes.
and what we got coming up with that.
Yeah, pull that up.
Yeah. So, well, do you want to talk about the big?
Yeah, I mean, we Max started this years ago. There, I
1986.
There you go. We
Yeah.
picked a year because we couldn't really settle on when it started, but we've been doing it for a really long time. In about 2010, I think we rebranded it, renamed it to the Eric Lockman Memorial Big Buck Contest. Eric Lockman was a local hunting guru. A good friend of mine was one of his best friends, and he died in an airplane accident on a sheep hunt. And his sister and his her husband, good friends, and we thought it'd be a really cool way to honor Eric by renaming the Big Buck Contest. So for every year, we've reached out to our vendors, and they have supported our contest. We've had upwards of $20,000 in prizes that are total vendor support. They're throwing money at, and they're throwing product.
Sure.
And then we assign, where it goes and all that kind of stuff. So we have been kind of watching this thing last couple of years, and we just needed to give it a shot of adrenaline, a little. So to speak.
Give it some more life.
Yeah. So Jessica and Veronica from our marketing department really took the bull by the horns.
And she's awesome, by the way.
She's so sassy.
I love
Yeah,
Veronica.
man.
Oh,
She's so,
man.
like,
She brings such good energy to a powwow.
Yeah, she
and
does.
you guys feed off each other, and
yeah.
she seems very passionate about what she's doing.
Oh man, she is, and she's so smart, and she just has such an incredible vision. And she and her husband moved up to Alaska from Texas, like pretty much
you can
sight
hear it.
unseen. Oh, you can,
y'all.
But they have just embraced the Alaska lifestyle. Their kids are here, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, we tell her, say, Veronica, we want to really give this event some life, and
revamp
she
this
takes
bad
it
boy.
next
level.
level, which is great. But like Jesse said, well, do you want to talk a little bit about the entries? I mean, hunters will submit their.
Yeah, so we have a very long season, August
Yeah.
1 through December 31st. That's our main season. You actually hunt until the end of January on federal land. So we have it's a very hard window to kind of put a promotion into, right?
Sure.
Not like Black Friday, we got kind of a weekend to hone in on. So we hang the racks up in our stores starting during entry. You can't have them in velvet, so they have to be either post velvet or stripped. We hang them in stores and in the store in Kodiak, and they will stay there till about the middle of December. We'll pull them, and we generally find Roar's Bear Camp for the last 4 or 5 years has helped us score all the racks.
Oh,
Not
okay.
all of them. We've had upwards of entries of 150, 170 racks some years.
Wow.
So we'll just pick the top
Yeah.
30 or 40.
Get all the big boys.
So it's kind of a really cool deal. Then we try and launch this thing and make announcements in the middle of January, and that's a little bit tough because everybody's kind of taking off for the winter.
Sure.
So anyway, trying to bring all that back together is kind of a bigger event. And
Well, and we wanted to really give back to the community too.
Right.
It's a important event. It's been around for so long, and like Jesse said, there's a lot of great entries and $20,000 of prizes. I mean, we just ask our vendors, hey, will you contribute? And they say, whatever you want, we're going to give it to you.
That's great.
And so we wanted to be able to also give back to the community a little bit. So we worked with Vortex, who they're a great partner with us. And we have these custom Big Buck shirts, sweatshirts being made that they're helping
Nice.
to contribute. And we're going to have them in the store. And anyone who buys them, they'll be $50. All the proceeds will go to the Kodiak chapter of the Mule Deer Foundation. So it's an organization that they're just kind of starting to build up a little bit there. You might be
Are they finding mule deer there now?
well, stick to blacktails are mule
It
deer.
is a mule deer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're a subspecies of a mule deer.
Okay.
And so a couple of guys locally were trying to kind of bring some conservation concepts to the island. And so they started this local chapter. And one of them is a good friend of mine, commercial fisherman, and we're it's about the only organization I can think of that would be a perfect match for that contribution.
Way cool.
Yeah, so we're looking to do some type of event in January, and like I said, we'd love to have you guys there, depending what we do. But just a way to kind of shut the store down and have people come in and just celebrate, the end of hunting season and
That's
all
so
of
cool,
that.
man.
It's
Will
January.
there be beers?
Well, I don't know if we can legally have beers in our store because we sell firearms. But we can
Get back
we
to you
can
on that.
Go
get back
down-
to you on that.
Okay.
We go down the
We have a
street.
brewery right across
I was
the
gonna
street.
say,
Okay.
Cidery
Double
right across
shovel,
the street.
double shovel is literally we can just throw the cider to
Yeah.
Now we're
We can
talking.
just trickle
So we
on
can
over
start
there.
at the
There you
store, and then everyone
And
moves
There
to
it
the
is.
cider.
There you
I
go.
dig
I
that.
think that's it. But
like
yeah,
it. I
but
like
no,
it.
we'd love to have you guys for that when more comes.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, I think you guys in the meeting kind of brushed on some dates for that. So whenever that gets worked out, I'm going to do my damnedest.
Can't be moose
make
hunting
that.
in.
Well,
No excuse.
Well, he's got
in
this
January.
Philippine. He's got his
I got-
Philippines.
yeah, when
I
is this
do-
Philippines trip?
well, my wife's Filipino, and so we
Okay.
go back to the Philippines. This will be our second time as a family.
Amazing.
My wife was born and raised in America, but all her, ancestry and
Aunties.
and aunties and the captain of the leaders of the neighborhoods are captains.
Okay.
El capitans.
Okay.
So
Learning
they
lots.
kind of call the shots and run security, whatever that means in the barrio neighborhood. We go for 3 weeks in December and then get back, I think like the 8th of January, 5th of January.
Right before school starts?
Right before school starts.
Sure.
And
Okay.
then my daughter has a trip in Boston for a hockey trip.
Cool.
And then they have the big buck contests. And then Chad's turning 50 and wants to go mule deer hunting in Arizona. So I'm just like,
Let's do it
It's a
all.
lot.
We'll do
come
it
with
all.
me on my 50th birthday. I'm like, I'm just getting back from the Philippines. I don't know. I'll
Hard to
figure it
pass
out.
that up, though.
It's a lot.
You can
But
We'll
sleep on the
celebrate his
airplane.
birthday in Kodiak.
There you go.
That's what we'll
Kodiak,
do.
Arizona, same thing.
it's like, there's mule deer in Kodiak.
Yeah, there you
True.
go.
See, now
Form
you
of
know.
Sitka blacktail. Makes sense. Their damn ears are so big.
Yeah.
That does totally make sense.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know that till about 10 years ago.
I-
You want
Every
me,
time
you want me
I've
to turn this back on?
There you go.
The smallest mule deer on the planet.
That's right.
No, when you clean those things, even a smaller female, I'm like, man, they're small body, but the ears are so huge. And that now I guess I didn't put those
They,
together.
they get that reputation for having a smaller body, a smaller rack, but that there's actually, if you get back there a ways and you truly get up there, you will find some pretty dandy bucks. I mean, there's
when they crest 100 pounds, that's a bigger animal than maybe you think you're getting into. We've gotten
Yep.
some 100-pounders in Prince William Sound, which
Sure.
is not as common to find them. It feels like you find that bigger bodied buck in the Kodiak Island, maybe those bloodlines. We happened to hunt rut a few years ago and got a couple of really nice bucks, and the three of us, it was everything we could do on the bone, packing them out.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, holy shit, these things are really, I was carrying a 100-pound pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it only had game bags and knives and some water. It didn't have a lot of stuff. It was just a day trip.
Sure.
Going in and getting some deer. And the three of us grown men carried two of those full-grown, rutted neck, big bull or big bucks. But I found it was a whole new respect for once they crest that size, you actually get a pretty
fair bit of meat.
a fair bit of meat and just a pretty good size animal. I guess when you go around and you're beach hunting and you're kind of just harvesting
Sure.
and shooting whatever you see, which is the way the hunt can be on Prince William Sound. And some people might call it what it is, but it is part of the hunt out there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a planted animal. They have it managed. And, but yeah, you get some big ones, man. And I got 3 in one day, in Kodiak, and 2 of them were over 100 pounds.
Sure.
And the third one was a younger one. And, we made the critical mistake of dragging them gutted
Old
out.
drag technique.
Oh, and that was the worst. I mean,
Why'd
it
you
wasn't.
do that?
Well, I just was like, oh, they're just black-tailed deer.
Uh-huh.
You grab one, I grab one, you grab one, we'll just hike it down. And then we got down to the bottom of the hill. I'm like, oh, shit, there's all this deadfall
Just getting caught up on
for
it.
however many 100 yards. And then you're like, finally, I throw the damn thing on my shoulders, bleeding all over me because I'm trying to crawl over the deadfall, fall on my face, get pinned, can't get up, have to have the one dude pull the buck off me. And I'm like, never again, these things are getting broke down and put in the pack. I guess, again, I disrespected the fact of how big they can be weight-wise.
Yeah.
And it may not appear to be a big deer compared to a whitetail or a big muley.
Sure. I think when you put hooves in hands and drug it through
Dead weight.
you would probably, think a little bit differently.
Sure.
We did the same thing. I mean, I've had that happen a couple of times, and you miscommunicate with a hunting partner, and you shoot 3, and then you realize that your day just got wrecked.
Oh,
And
man.
now you're
It's like,
doing
we
something
we only need to come out here and get one each today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save another one for tomorrow and that pack out. Yeah.
To be clear, the contest is only for Kodiak deer.
Yes.
Correct.
Unit
Okay.
eight.
Yes.
Unit
Don't
eight
fly
only.
up there, down there
Unit
with
8.
your
Got it.
Prince
Correct.
William Sound.
Yeah.
Thank you for
thinking
clarifying.
you-
Yes.
Okay, just to be clear.
Man, there's not a lot of racks in the Sound, even though there are probably some listeners that would rival that can touch a Kodiak big. I'm sure some of those bucks that get turned in are pretty nice.
There's, and there's a lot of racks that don't even get hung up because they're shot by non-residents and they're hunting with a guide and then they take it home.
Oh,
so some of
okay.
those maybe some of those 110s we never even see.
Oh, okay.
And that's cool.
That's okay.
We got the local base, and it's really cool to have get the local population involved in that.
Yeah, and it's not really about the buck and the rack size. It's really about the community togetherness, the contest, Eric, Max and Big Rays and the history, 1986. Like, it's really about that, right? I mean, it's just bringing everybody together. The rack is just the big buck is just the nucleus of the.
That's right.
Of kind of what brings it all together. That's cool. You guys are revamping it too.
Yeah, it's just long overdue, but
yeah. When we were over there that year, the guy I went with, Sean, he said we shot one like last minute, right before dark, and we got it down and we're cleaning it up. And he's like, "Man, I think this is going to make the big buck contest." And I'm like, "What is that?" He's like, "Oh, it's a local thing. You turn in your bucks, and then there's a big party at the end." I'm like, if Kodiak wasn't already cool,
that's right.
It just got way cooler. I'm like, damn, man. Of course, Kodiak does some cool shit like that.
That's funny.
Yeah, just another impressive Kodiak tidbit there.
Yeah.
Well, we hope to make it. Sounds like a great time.
Yeah,
great.
I
We'll
need
talk to you
dates,
guys.
man.
Yeah.
I need dates and like whatever you guys come up with. I'm
Sure.
going to do my best.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, thank you guys for coming in and spending the evening with us.
Thanks
I
for
think
having
we're at
us.
almost
you guys
3
are
hours
great.
here.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're in this little room here.
Yeah.
Thanks for what you
Great
guys are doing for the
conversation.
Alaska community, the outdoor community, providing the services and the products that you guys are doing. Like you said, for the range of prices and all that stuff. And it's good to know with all this stuff moving online and so much online sales and Amazon and all these big companies that you see an Alaska owned company where you can actually go in there and try the stuff on, touch it, feel it, and know that it's going to be a good product for you and your family.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that. Appreciate
you.
that a lot.
Thanks for the support.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
For sure. Man, thanks for keeping the tradition alive. Because you guys could have just said, "No, I'm good on the owner part." You could have just said, "No."
We thought about that in 2020 after the pandemic.
Well, sure.
Crossed our mind.
I mean, I know that it was probably a lot to digest as far as the responsibility, even though you guys were entrenched in the behind the scenes in the business and all that before. But thanks for keeping it alive and then taking it to another level. Because, like Daniel said earlier, there you guys are providing a place, an opportunity, a store, a vendor spot where we can go and find stuff, and it feels like there's enough cake for everybody to eat. You got the big box stores, you got the boutique, and then you got Big Rays in the middle, and you guys are in the perfect niche.
Sure.
For that, and thanks for and it's family, it's history. It's not like you guys came out of nowhere from the States somewhere with money and bought the company. You guys are local, like your blood, sweat, and tears are literally in the company's roots.
Yeah, don't look too closely. You might see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
don't scratch at the paint.
Okay, don't get down to the primer.
Yeah, that's right.
But no, we appreciate it. I mean, honestly,
Yeah, you guys are doing great things.
we wouldn't be around for 76 years if it wasn't for our fellow Alaskans. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't tell you, every customer that comes in, it was funny growing up, I'd always roll my eyes at my dad because a customer would walk out the door and he'd go, "Thank you so much for your business. I so appreciate your business." It's like, gosh, Dad,
How many times
again.
can you say that?
And now I do the same thing. I go, "Thank
Every
you
time.
so much."
Yeah.
And people don't always recognize how much we appreciate. You could shop wherever you want. You can buy whatever you want at the touch of your fingertips.
Yeah.
And when someone chooses to spend their hard-earned money at our store and take the time to come in, I mean, we feel a great responsibility to deliver the best service that they could possibly get, and I don't think people understand how humbled we are by them coming into our store. So
Yeah, it definitely, the vibe I got from Max when I first went in there years ago, and I keep bringing that up, as I got a really good, like a good old boy feel of that, like an auntie and uncle run this joint. And, they're going to go home and, make some sourdough bread or whatever. Like it just...
Cheryl does make some mean sourdough bread. I'm just saying.
Why did I feel that way? Well, it just has that vibe, man. And you guys are keeping it alive. And thanks for what you guys are doing, man. You guys are beautiful Alaskan people doing it, living it. And, it doesn't all have to go corporate and outside, that you can still start a local small business. Not that you started, it's been established, but there's still hope that like that mom and pop can still survive if it's done the right way.
Important.
It is important.
It is. And also for the 90 plus employees you guys have.
There again.
Yeah.
You're doing great things with that, man.
Well, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
Awesome work.
Okay.
Thank you, Alaska. Thank you for listening. AlaskaWildProject.com. We got some new hoodies out there and hats and stuff like that. BigRays.com. If you're in Kodiak or if you want to come to a party, we will have the date out there and we'll be pushing some more of their stuff. Check out the Arolik Waders and all the other cool stuff that Big Rays is doing. Thank you once again for listening. And as always,
stay wild.
You remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Big Rays, the Alaskan outfitter, committed to outfitting Alaskans across the state since 1947. Whether you're a recreator, parent, guide, or corporate buyer, Big Rays has the gear you need, tailored for Alaska's harsh conditions. Check out their new exclusive line of Arolik Waders. Big Rays for all your outdoor gear and rugged work attire. BigRays.com.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives. AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce cards, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO.
marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana. For the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include weekly lawn care, custom landscaping, fertilizing, weed control, turf repair, and more. Schedule your free estimate at lawnproak.com.
Alaska's OG cider company, Double Shovel, crafting gluten-free colonial-style ciders, founded as a healthier, non-inflammatory brew option. Drop by their Pop and Tap room in Anchorage off of 58th and Arctic, or visit the second location in Kodiak. Double Shovel, award-winning ciders.
The Alaska chapter of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. BHA is the voice of our Alaskan public lands, waters, and wildlife. Their goal is to uphold our hunting and fishing legacy while keeping our public lands wild. Stand up today and join BHA at backcountryhunters.org.
Should you not claim to be at least his equal in prowess and act upon the claim? I say try. If we never try, we shall never succeed. This proposition is a simple truth, and it's too important to be lost sight of for a moment. If we cannot beat the enemy where he now is, we never can. It is all easy if our troops march as well as the enemy, and it is unmanly to say they cannot do it.